to be a Tiger. JSU by 40 campaign. Coach Taylor, I was just thinking, I was sitting in my office and we were talking about Jackson State athletics, the tradition of Jackson State. You played here. What if 50,000 alums gave $40 a month for 12 months?
Man, that would be huge. That's money in the bank for athletic program.
Let's do this, Coach. I'm challenging all 50,000 alumni of Jackson State University, supporters, fans. Let's give $40 a month to JSU by 40 campaign. 12 months, 12 million. September to August, let's win championships in the classroom. Let's support Jackson State University. Let's support athletics. And let's make sure our coaches and our student athletes are successful. So again, Coach Taylor and I are challenging you, all 50,000 alums, $40 a month for 12 months to support Jackson State athletics. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Support the JSU by 40 campaign. Visit gojsutigers.com/JSU by 40.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. What's up, Tiger Nation? How y'all doing? Come on in this thing, man. Let's get the party started. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Happy hump day. Hope you had a good Wednesday. I was watching a little basketball, man. So, man, we about to get ready to – we have a great guest tonight. One of my favorite coaches on the staff will be joining us tonight. May even have a special guest helping us to do this interview. D-Core Receipts supposed to be joining us tonight. So, and then, of course, TD will be on as well. Y'all hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button as you come in. What's up, Travis? How you doing, man? Hopefully all is well. That's right. Listen, while I got you guys, while we're getting ready to get this thing rocking and rolling, hit that link. The link is pinned to the chat. Go ahead and let's get signed up, man. Road to 500K. Appreciate you, sis. Man, Sinetta's been out on the front lines of this thing, man. We got to get to 500, y'all. We can definitely do it. We need your help to do it. What's up, Brother Q? How you doing, man? Hopefully Dallas Tech. So listen, hopefully everybody in the South is doing well, man. It's snowing over there. We're going to talk all about it, man. It's snowing down in the Sunshine State. Well, that's, I mean, I guess I could say the Sunshine State where I'm at, but it's snowing over in Florida, man. It's Florida, South Georgia, Mississippi, Texas, everybody gets Louisiana. Oh, my goodness, man. It's a lot happening right now. But listen, if you haven't signed up yet, click that link at the top of the chat. Go ahead and get active with us, man. We're trying to get to 500. Man, we get to 500, we're going to be able to really make some waves. Say we didn't get no snow. I'm mad. Man, they got snow in South Mississippi. Saw some snow over in Louisiana. All different parts of the South, man. Florida, man. I was talking to a brother over in Tallahassee tonight, and he's ready. You know, he go. We got 7.5 inches in Mobile. Good googly moogly. My goodness. Said we got enough snow here in Noe. Hey man, did the city? I know the cities are shut down. I saw somebody doing somebody playing ice hockey. They was doing ice hockey on Canal Street or something like that. Man, it was pretty crazy. Some of the visuals we got a chance to see. But but anywho, as you guys come in, like I said, the link will be in the chat. Click the link if you haven't signed up yet. Let's get signed up, man. Let's do that. And as far as the channel, we on the road to 8,000 subscribers. Tell a friend, tell another friend, man. We do it. Y'all know where we are every Monday, Wednesday, Friday night. KC-1400 Media doing a live show as we transition. We fully transitioned into the basketball season, and we're ready to rock and roll. It's time to roll. So we're in the heart of the season. The men and the women are doing pretty well in conference play, 1 loss each. Both were undefeated, and they went over to Texas and split the game. So we're excited about what they're doing right now. Said we are iced in. I'm pretty sure you guys are, man. I'm pretty sure you guys are. Ain't no salt trucks in the South like that, man. They don't kind of got to put your own salt out. So, but I'm over here in it was 77 here today, man. It was a beautiful day, man. You know, over here on the West Coast. So, ain't you know, what's up, KT Dub? What it do? Where are you in the know you? I am Snetter. You can have this. I saw my cousin. They were out in Baton Rouge, and man, it was white like they were up in Michigan somewhere. Man, it was pretty cool to witness from afar. Jackson got nothing. I'm pretty sure our Jacksonians were disappointed. No snow, but you guys got to navigate though. You know, West Bank over in Harvey. Yeah, I know you guys over there definitely got a lot of snow, man. But listen, we but yeah, we're ready to rock and roll tonight, man. I'm gonna be tag teaming with one and only, man. Y'all know him from Tiger Talk TV. You know, I know him as colleague, you know, the Corey C. And he's gonna be joining us tonight, man, as we get ready to talk to our special guest tonight, our running backs coach, Coach Eric Gallen. Listen, man, if you guys haven't had we had a chance to interview him on Tiger Talk at one point in time. And just an outstanding interview. Great football mind, just even greater person. Coach Eric Gallen will be joining us tonight here in a little bit, and I'm excited to partner with my. What you doing? What's going on, bro? Lee Corey C in the building. What's
JC,
up, baby?
What's up, baby? What's up?
Hey, man, you got it, man. Happy to have you on. Happy to have you on with me.
Man, it's an honor to be welcome.
Yeah, man, it's all good, bro. Anytime, man. You know, you ready to make that transition? Come on to the late night show, baby. You know, we're trying to get you over here. Nah, I'm just teasing. Yeah, 3-part interview. Watched it a couple of times. They loyalists to the Tiger Talk TV, man. If you guys aren't subscribed, please go subscribe to Tiger Talk TV. We've got a lot of interviews coming down the pipe from Tiger Talk TV, man. We've got to get all our ambassadors over there, bro. All our brand ambassadors, the man, the myth, the legend, D. Corey C. Appreciate you, like I said, for joining tonight, man. Excited to get this interview rocking and rolling. And there's TD. TD, what's up, man?
Hey.
How
y'all doing?
Doing well, man. Happy you could join us, bro. Gonna be a great interview tonight.
Definitely should be. What's up, Tiger Nation? The Corey C.
TD. What do we
What's
want?
up, money? How you
TD.
doing?
What's that? Touchdown. No, that's Toronto Day. We got to get that chant going in the stadium.
That's right. I let my boy Richard lead it. He does a good job.
You and Richard need to hush on offense. I actually I'm okay with it being for TD, but at the wrong time, bro. Richard, the wrong time, man.
Hazelhurst, I got to shout out my
honestly though, you know what? The chat ain't bad if it's just one time. You know what I'm saying? If it's one time, what do we want? TD, what's that? Touchdown. And then just kill it. That's kind of hard though, bro. Our issue is we be like, make some noise. We on the 5-yard line trying to drive the ball in, and the quarterback can't hear the calls or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's cool. That was clutch, D. Corey C. That was clutch, man.
No, we do it.
But what else going on, man? How y'all feeling, man? We like I said, we got Coach Gallen on tonight. We had TD, myself, and KT Dub outside of the Tiger Talk interview. For those that don't know, we had a chance to sit outside. What was it, Daytona? We was at. We went to the Thune-Cookman game this past season, and got a chance to talk to Coach Gallen quite a bit. And man, just a great conversation. And I thought it was important. You know, we just had a 1,000-yard rusher, Herb Mulligan. Had a monumental year, won SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. And y'all remember, I guess after one particular game, TD, you remember we was talking to Coach Gallen, and he talked about he wasn't too impressed with what we were excited about it, but he was like, if he Joker had done what I told him to do, he'd already be at 1,000 right now.
Yeah.
So I definitely look forward to talking to him about some of that. What's up, D? JSU Tigers 06? What up?
What up, 06 was good.
Hey,
Tiger Nation, man. I mean, it's a little chilly. I like it. I love it.
What's the temperature there?
Huh?
What's the temp?
Cold. I would have no idea what it is. I just look, man. I don't get too real like caught up in. I just rock with it. It say 26, man.
Bro, that ain't. You might want to get right. You might want to rock with that one, dog. Do you have your water faucet dripping?
That's
you know what? I did the last 2 nights, and I almost slipped up this morning, man. But
And leave the cabinets open too.
The cat. Yeah. Okay, so he can circulate. Okay, you're right.
Yeah,
Right.
circulate the pipes, bro. You're gonna wake up to a bigger problem than what you went to bed with.
Yeah, I know, man.
26 degrees.
I've been tempted to hit the fireplace, man.
I ain't no tempted. I need to see some smoke coming off some wood.
Actually, I love the smell. That's that country boy in me, man. I love the smell of Benny.
So I got a funny story. I'll tell y'all this today. So I went out to I found a new patio store, like an outlet almost, bro. So I've been hunting for patio equipment, but it ain't probably the best time to buy it because we're dealing with these high winds, these Santa Ana windstorms, bro. But man, listen, I'm over there in this store, man. All they got from like fire pits, right? The little fire pits that everybody want the fire pit on the patio joint, man. All they got is, I didn't realize these things operated with propane. I'm like, nah, I'm good on that. I don't want no damn propane fire. I'm good on that.
Nah.
Give me something that burns some wood, man. I want wood burning only. I ain't doing all that propane. I've been done blew myself up, man. I'm good with that gas line. Look, I know them Louisianans love to do them crawfish balls with the propane, all that good stuff. You can have it. I'm good.
Well, you need that to cook. Now I got an oil fryer and stuff like that. You need it to cook with now.
I don't need it to cook with it. You probably can cook with it. I'm gonna go to the charcoal.
You don't need it.
Well, I'm talking about it like my grill for sure, charcoals. I don't want nothing else but charcoals for my grill. But like when you have, like I got an oilless fryer, it requires a propane tank. Like I don't deep fry my turkey in grease. I have an oilless fryer.
So here's my workaround that. I ain't gonna use it. I'm gonna sell it to you, bro. Matter of fact, I sell it to you cheap. Yeah, hey, I'll go get me a fried turkey somewhere else, man. I'm just saying, I stay within my limitations, bro. And I've always had I'm terrified of them propane tanks, bro. Every time somebody around me, they get ready to light them, I just walk off. I'd be like, come back and get me out the fried stuff. I'm good, bro. Because bitch, say people feel what they don't understand. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I know my limitations, man, but it is what it is. But no, I did see that, bro. But yeah, man, make sure you turn your faucet. At least have a light drip, bro, so the pipes don't be over frozen. You don't want to have that bill, bro. And yeah, Corey, I ain't gonna lie to you now. I ain't never heard keep the cabinets open. I'm a country boy myself. I really never heard that before.
I have.
You heard it, but you saying it one time, I got it instantaneously when you said it. I never thought about it.
You got to put you got to put a towel or a rag or whatever you want to call it under the doors or around the door. You got to block out
right there.
Yeah, that's old school.
Old school.
Your grandmama taught you that.
I can teach you a few things. I can teach you.
Get the extra wind from coming through.
Hey, we gonna ask Coach if he know a little something like that. He done played in all different types of climates. He played up there in New England Patriots, one of the coldest climates in the NFL, man. But without further ado, everybody, like I said, we know what y'all came in for. We pretty much got a few preliminaries. Matter of fact, before we bring Coach up, I do want to go through a couple of preliminaries real quick. We do have a sign-up goal. If you're new, hit that link. Join the collective. We're trying to get to 500 signups ASAP. This weekend, no, not this week. I'm sorry. In February 5th. Not this weekend. Actually, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from tonight. That's right. 2 weeks from tonight, you're looking at the recruit reveal. So this is National Signing Day. This is our official National Signing Day event for Jack State football. Going to be back over at the M Bar. Y'all know where it's at. Got the Champion Circle. You can reserve a table now, $300 for Champion Circle. Look, don't wait, by the way, because I know there was a lot of people trying to get tables, Corey, for this past event. Don't wait. The barcode is up. Go and grab your tables now. And they got the Guard the Yard table for $100, general admission $50. It is a fundraiser. Wear your JSU game day attire. It's going to be a great event over at the M Bar. Shout out to our Lady Tigers. Shout out to Live for Hoops. Still got our Tigers ranked in the top 5. We want to shout out. I told y'all she was going to be a star, bro. we'll come back to it after the interview with Coach. But Talil Dilworth, man, SWAC Player of the Week. Not surprised here. Leading scorer. Last I checked, she's the leading scorer in the SWAC, unless that changed, but she still should be. But tomorrow night, man, we got some hoops kicked off again. Love the edit. Shout out to Travis and his team. Tomorrow night, we got FAMU. We got the Rattlers in town tomorrow night. Women's basketball only at the AAC, 6 p.m. If you don't have your tickets, go get them. But definitely be at the game tomorrow night so we can support our Lady Tigers, man. And on all Monday and Thursday home games, if you're 18 and under, you get in free. General admission only. You do get in free, and all MHSAA coaches' passes are accepted. And then the men going to kick off basketball this Saturday against Bethune-Cookman, 3 p.m. And then they're going to play the Soul game on Monday against the Rattlers. So y'all know how it's going. We'll come back to it. But without further ado, man, we want to bring up the running backs coach, man. The myth, the legend. I'm going to figure this thing out here in a minute. The way. Coach, what to say about it, man? How you doing, Doc?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Man, doing good, man. Doing good. Happy to have you on. Happy to have you on, man. Hey, we brought you. We got you on the late night show, man. We've had you on Tiger Talk, but we wanted to get you on tonight, man. And it's postseason now, and now we won't roll into the spring season. But man, you guys had a monumental year, and we're gonna try to make our rounds through the staff if everybody stay intact. You know what I'm saying, and don't bail out on us.
Oh no! I hope they don't bail out. Be in for a treat.
Well, how you been, Coach? I mean, hey, welcome to the show, man. We happy to have you on, man. What's been going on?
Yeah, I'm glad to be on, and it's actually an honor, and I feel blessed to actually have the opportunity to come on and speak with you guys because I know this. It's a lot of work on y'all end too. It's not easy in putting all this together. And making sure, it goes off without a hitch. But I'm honored. I really am, believe it or not. And I say that humbly because I just like being able to share with you guys any information that I can provide that, to bring light to what the program has done and what, Coach Taylor is doing for this program and how we're trying to move in the right direction to be a pretty good program.
And they say, Coach Ken, he could be your this is my big brother. Y'all didn't know that? I think they
Oh, that's yeah, okay. I'm seeing the comment now. Why is that? Because of the beard?
Hey, his beard better than mine, though. I got to get on Coach level. Coach I'm still struggling. I'm in the struggle part of winter right now. So I want. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you what I'm dealing with right now. I want to whack this whole thing off and just start over, man. You know how every now and again you got to do a reset. I'm feeling like I need to reset, man. But
Coach, I'm gonna tell you, when we went to the Celebration Bowl, and I went to the barber because they have a barber shop there, which everybody knows. I went to the barber. He cut mine down so low. I was like, he was like, "Hey, how do you like that, Coach?" I was like, "Oh man, it looks great, man." But then I was like, "Oh, he cut my beard down," you know what I mean? Because it was a lot bigger, a lot fuller, and I was like,
right,
huh? You know what I mean? I was like, what in the world? But hey, it's okay. It is what it is. We just roll on.
Yes, indeed, man. I'll go. We'll start with our guest tonight, the Corey C. Man, I'll let you open it up. We've had several conversations with Coach, man, but it's just a lot that we do want to kind of touch on. So, what you got, D?
Man, welcome. I remember you're saying how much of an honor it is. I believe you because when you came on Tiger Talk, you got on us because it seems like it took us too long to get you on the show. You said you had been watching and waiting and watching all the other coaches and saying, when am I coming on the show? So
exactly. I'm sitting here like wondering, like, well, what's the deal? What's going on? Like, y'all ain't even asked me to come on. I know we got 20-something coaches on the staff, but when we gonna circle around to me? You know what I mean? But no, it is an honor, Corey.
Well, you see what we did this time, right? We brought you on first.
Oh, in my first postseason?
First postseason. See how we did it? Yeah.
Beginning of the year.
It's a reason why, because I think TD got something up his sleeve, but I think it's a reason why I'm first. Yeah, Corey, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
Man, good to see you, man. It looks like you. I know we're gonna get to it, but man, it looks like you had a ball at the parade, man. It looked like you had a ball at the parade with everybody walking up, taking the picture, the selfie with the trophy.
Oh, did you see? I didn't think any of those pictures was gonna surface, so I was actually just.
I was right behind you. I was recording. I got all of it. I can send it to you.
That was you.
Hey, right behind you. I recorded.
doggone it, dang, we're gonna have to hide some of that footage.
It's too late. I put it out there already.
Okay. But yeah, I had a good time at the parade. It was great, and being able to share that with the fans, because a lot of them were like, "Hey, I want to take a picture with Troy. I want to take a picture with Troy." So then I let a few of them hold the trophy. I said, "Hey, here, you got to hold it," but I held it at the top.
No, you were holding on to it. I saw you.
Exactly, but I made sure that they
grip on
felt
it.
the weight of that trophy, so they understand. Hey, this weight was blood, sweat, and tears that was garnered throughout the season. And putting everything together and how we did it and how we came together. It was letting them, that's what I was telling them most of the time. I'm sitting there holding, hey, you feel the weight of this? That's the weight of what we felt for this city as we went and prepared every single day, because it wasn't about us. It was about y'all, the city. Wow. You know what I mean? That was pretty much the message. Every time I was letting someone hold it and I was standing next to them, you probably couldn't see that when they wanted to take a picture, but that's what I was saying to every single one of them. I kept regurgitating the exact same thing. Every person that I spoke to.
I thought it was on fitting that the running back coach was carrying the trophy through the parade.
Why is that, TD?
Make sure you don't fumble.
Hey, we don't even use that word.
Okay.
That's something we don't like to say, because we had one fumble this year.
Wow. It was one, only one.
That's
from the backfield.
Yeah.
I was sitting here thinking about that when he said fumble, and I was gonna say, did we fumble at all? Man.
Yeah, we did. There was a game. There was one game where Irv had a fumble. Big Snacks came and punched one out on him, and we wound up getting it back though. But at the same time, he was like, when we watched film, he was like, he hit that ball out there. I say, yeah, that's why you have to carry the ball on the off arm, like I tell you to. But that's neither here nor there. I'll go back and revisit that, and then I start getting all agitated again. And we champs. You know what I mean? I have to keep reminding ourselves that, because we go and watch film even to this day. We're like, man, God, we were bad. What were we doing on this play? What were we trying to achieve? But we were champs.
Is that great coaching, or is that great running backs? One fumble, a little bit of both.
I think a lot of it is just pretty daggum good running backs. You know what I mean?
You won't give yourself the credit.
No, because we stress it to them, but it's on them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's on them. And for them to have the discipline to make sure they're carrying that ball high and tight, running with it, and then when they're in traffic, covering it up, it's on them. We can give them some tools to put in their tool bag, but they got to be the ones that exercise the tools and use the right tools when they need them. So yeah, it's on them.
So, Coach, let's reverse it back a little bit. We'll come back to it. I know the parade was awesome, but for those who don't know, I want to talk about you a little bit. You actually played the position and played it at the highest level. If you don't mind, let's touch on just your. We're not gonna go all the way back like we did in Tiger Talk, but we did want to talk about once you did get to college, and because many don't know, you were actually recruited to college to play quarterback.
Yes.
And then let's start there. Let's start how you got recruited to be a quarterback, and then you transitioned, and then I want to get into talking about the late great, well, not late great, my goodness, Bill Snyder. I ain't gonna say late great, he's still with us. But the legendary Bill Snyder, head coach of Kansas State. I know that's where you played your football at. But let's talk about how you were recruited to college and the quarterback side of it.
Yeah, coming out of Florida, yeah, I was. That's all I had ever played was quarterback. So I had played no other position, So it was something special that I wanted to do in college, because at the time there wasn't very many coming out in 1988. But I wanted to go and play quarterback, and like I said before, I had a lot of schools recruiting from Clemson to Louisville to Southern Miss. I had Florida, but they wanted a receiver. And I had a lot of different schools recruiting, but they all wanted even Toledo wanted me to play a totally different position. And I'm like, no, I'm not a DB. I'm not a wide receiver. I'm a quarterback. First off, I wasn't gonna hit nobody on defense. You know what I mean? Seriously, not that I was scared of anybody. I just wasn't gonna. I haven't done it. And at wide receiver, could I catch the ball? Probably, yeah. But at the same time, I wasn't a wide receiver, and I didn't want to play wide receiver. So, and I didn't want to play anything else other than in running back. You know what? Running back never even showed up in my whole entire recruiting. Which was so unique and ironic about it. Nobody ever considered to say, "Hey, you can play running back." You know what I mean? I played quarterback, and I wanted to play quarterback, and I wasn't going to settle for anything else other than just playing quarterback, and that's why I chose Kansas State. But I chose Kansas State only because the coach then at the time was Stan Parrish. Stan Parrish believed that I could have been a quarterback. He said, "There's a lot of things that I want to do with you." And before he passed, I saw him at a wedding with a guy that I had coached with, and he had coached this guy in college at Ball State. And he said, "Hey, you do know you were going to be that first black quarterback, that dual threat guy." I had a lot of the zone read stuff that I wanted to do, which was kind of innovative at the time back then. And he said, "That's what I wanted to do, but I didn't play my freshman year." And when we came back for the second semester, he was gone of my freshman year. And then he came Bill Snyder. So it never really got an opportunity to come to fruition of what his visions he had for me to come and play for Kansas State, which I think, and he said it, and he knew it. He said, "Listen, I wanted to run a lot of zone stuff, a lot of zone read stuff, and probably nobody had never seen it. But I was like, look, this guy here can do a lot of things." And he felt like in high school I was a little kind of a dynamic type person. So, and I was like, okay, I didn't see that, but yeah, appreciate it.
And then you transition over. You transition over to running back. How does that conversation go over? You say Coach Snyder comes in after him?
Yeah, but I was quarterback initially at first, and then probably about maybe a week in the spring, he was like, "Look, we want to move you to receiver." And probably about a few days after the receiver, he said, "Well, we want to move you to fullback." Fullback? You mean that guy that goes and blocks for the running back? You want me to do that? Now, mind you, I still kind of got a little bit of a quarterback mindset. I'm like, this dude crazy. I ain't blocking for nobody. You know what I mean? That was the thought that I had.
How much did you weigh?
At the time, I was about 205.
Okay.
Wow. I came to college at about 180, and then that second year I was about 205, and I had gained that weight, and then I was slowly matriculating up, but I never really, when I was playing fullback, I was never over 215 pounds, 212 pounds. Wow. But I wound up starting at fullback, blocking ISOs. I mean, I was blocking ISOs like I was 235, 240 pound youth check or somebody like them. I was trying to kill people because now my mind changed. So now I got that little Florida in me. So, you got a little bit of that competitiveness in you. Like, hey, look, you're going to have to let these cats know who the freak you is on this field and get after they behind. So I was running ISO. I hated ISOs, but at the time I did not like ISOs. But then I was like, if I'm going to make an impact on this block, I'm going to have to go with everything I got. I got to bring every strength, every ounce of muscle, every ounce of weight, every ounce of grit that I got to go and make these blocks. I mean, it was because, in ISOs back in the day, it was like isolation. Them holes split wide open. It's you and the daggone linebacker, one-on-one, boom. So that's how I did it.
Hey, Coach, when you say you lost your coach that recruited you to K-State. What you mean when you say you lost him? Like, did he leave? Did he get fired?
He got let go. Yeah, he got fired.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you want to transfer then? I know it was extremely hard to transfer at that point. It's nothing like it is today, but did you have the mind, especially when they asked you to play receiver and then running back, was the thought in your mind to transfer?
Absolutely. I called my dad and told my dad, I'm out of here. I want to go somewhere else. I don't want to play here. They don't want me to play quarterback. I want to get out of here. My dad just calmly let me say all I said. And he finished. When I finished, he was like, "Then where you want to go?" I had no idea. I had no clue. So then I thought about, what? I can go to Virginia military. or I can go to FUMA or some other military school or something like that and try to get enrolled so I can get recruited. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, man, that ain't gonna work. I'm already in my second year. That's and then he was like, listen, he said, tough times don't last long. He said, are you gonna be one of the ones that give up when tough times come? And he said, tough people last. But if you want to be who they say you are, and you want to be who you say you are, then you need to go back and do what you need to do. Because when I came home that summer, I was ready to leave. I was not going back. I was done. I was like, I'm not going to Kansas State. I can't stay in that place. I hate it. And it wasn't that I hated it or hated anything about it. I just didn't like the fact that they wanted to move me to another position, and play something that I hadn't played and something that I didn't want to do.
So when did it click for you, Coach, when you finally got to the point where you say, you know what, this is what it is, this is what I'm finna do that now? Because now you fast forward and you decide to stay, because you went on to play in the NFL, and so obviously you had to have had at least a good year. So let's talk about when the light bulb may have clicked and when you actually starting as a running back where you was productive to get to the next level.
Well, about 3 games. Well, the first game of the season, it clicked. We went to Arizona State out in Tempe and played in front of that big crowd, and it was a lot of people. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And I was catching balls out of the back. The thing was, I didn't know how they were actually going to try and use it. Come to find out, I was catching balls out of the backfield. We would go in one-back sets. They would pull the running back out and leave me in, because I was going to be in on the protections and on checkdowns and on routes out of the backfield.
Okay.
So they were still using the skill set that I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And then about halfway through that game or third quarter, that's when it clicked. I was like, oh, I got this. I can do this. And then, I'll be honest with you, in about the fourth game of the season, I tore my hamstring. It detached from the glue, and I wound up having the red shirt because I could barely walk. And I made it back about the 10th game of the season, 10th game. We were getting ready to play Colorado, and he asked me, he said, hey, you red shirt and just, go to scout team, because I was working on getting back, rehabbing and doing all this stuff. So when I got back, they moved me to running back to play Eric Bieniemy. So you know how normally when we're playing college, so you know how normally when you're on scout team, you get the best player who you present for the defense, you wear their number. Well, I didn't have to do that because I was wearing number 1 already. So when I transitioned, I made that. When I went in there, I was good. I was healthy. I was ready to go. I was practicing. Man, I'm going to tell you, that first day of practice back, and he had me at running back. He told me he was going to put me at running back. He wanted me to go to scout team, play running back to mimic. I got over there with the scout team and played running back. And I would see them cards and see what I need to do and see what hope. I was like, okay, I know where I'm going. Make sure, hey guys, make sure y'all block it up. You ain't got to run nobody over. You ain't got to pancake nobody. Just get a hat on and let me do it from there. That's what I told him. And I don't even know where I got the gumption to say that from. And that first practice, I lit that defense up. And I was going 100 miles an hour. I was not slowing down. You hear me? Like guys mad and upset. Man, slow down. Man, we ain't trying to do it. Hey, y'all better play. This is what you gonna do.
It's a starting defense.
Yeah, against the starting defense. I was torching them. And by Thursday, Bill Snyder came to me and said I remember him tugging on my jersey, just like this. I remember playing this day. He said, we're playing against a guy that's wearing the same number that you, but I saw a lot of that guy in you. And I think we may have found you a home. That's what he told me.
Wow.
So the next week, we was playing Nebraska. And I did the same exact thing to the defense. So then everybody began to realize, man, that's our running back right there. You know what I mean? So, but I wasn't really still practicing with the offense. Really, I was just on the scout team because I was redshirting that year. Only, I got a medical red shirt. And so that's when the transition changed. And that's when it clicked with me. That's where I'm supposed to be. And then going in the spring, I remember spring playing this day. I probably had 13 carries total, but it might have been 200 some yards. And so I didn't play in the spring game after that, after the second quarter. I didn't play anymore the rest of the day. And the coach told me, he said, listen, this job is yours to lose. And when you come back in the fall, we come back for camp, you got to make sure you know this entire offense inside and out. And you need to study and watch film and understand what's going on. And I think you'll be okay. And that was it. And that was it. From that point forward, that was it. I was on the pop because when the off season came, we were doing winter conditioning. Everybody knew I was going to running back. All the defense, everybody knew I was going to Jim Levitt, Bob Stoops, Bob Cope, God bless it. All those guys knew. And Bob Cope came to me one day, and I love this little guy. He came to me one day and he told me, he said, you know what? He says, when you take this game serious, he says, you're going to be a pretty good back. He said, because I've seen a lot of backs in my days. And he said, you will be a pretty good back. That's what he told me.
So say that was a blessing in disguise, huh?
Yeah, it was. And I didn't see it. I'd be golfing tripping. I'd rather be golfing. I just saw his message. He's funny. But who is that anyway?
I don't know.
But yeah, I thought it was a blessing, and it was a blessing, man. And sometimes we can't see it, and that's why I tell players, and I use that same methodology today. And I tell players, you can't see what we see sometimes, but you just got to believe it and have faith in the process of what we're trying to do. So I'm a firm believer in that, and that's what happened.
Right. That's something that what I was going to ask you too. It's a situation where a coach knows best, especially when you're young. You have your mind set on what you want to do,
right? And
who the person that you idolize. But coaches being around the game know your skill set, know your build, and can tell you, where you need to go. I think somebody put it in the chat, but I was thinking the same thing. That's exactly what happened to James Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up in the league the same way.
Right. And sometimes we can't see it because we only see what we want to see, and we don't see what other eyes are looking at. And the eyes that are looking at you, they're looking at it for your good or for the betterment of the team, which thus winds up being better for you as an individual. And I'll say that same sentiment, with the players that we have today on this team, and I think a lot of the success lends to that with the leadership of Coach Taylor and how he's done things and how he's transcended over his thoughts and beliefs into us as coaches on what our expectations are of these guys too.
So Coach, apparently it worked out for you. You transitioned on into the running back phase, and apparently you tore it up because you ended up in the NFL. How did that work out for you?
I mean, it wound up having a pretty good year that following year, and I was blessed to be ranked in the country, nationally, and then in the big at the time, Big 12 was Big 8 conference, and I was blessed to have all of those accolades. And like I said, it was a blessing, and it was a lot of scheming that we did that helped propel some of that, and it was a lot of great effort by my teammates. And I can't say I did anything all by myself because I couldn't, and especially with the offensive line, they garnered or should get the credit for it. But yeah, it wound up being a really good year, my junior year, which is what catapulted me to being recognized for the next level and having the opportunity to play at the next level. And that year, that following year after the redshirt year, we did some really, really, really good stuff record wise and numbers wise. And even, what people didn't realize is you go back and we went back and looked at it. I had missed like 16 quarters of play, that year. And I didn't miss it because of injury. I just missed it because of the same mentality that I reposted of the conversation that Saquon Barkley was having with his coach, same conversation I had with Irv Mulligan. Coaches would say, hey, you need this to get this. You know, do you want to go back out there? I was like, no. At the time, I didn't say no. Let those other boys eat too. That wasn't the term. I was like, no, coach, let them get out there and shine. Let them play. You know, let them get those reps. Those are meaningful reps. Let them get them. I mean, because when we were winning and we were up, and I felt like, hey, at the same time, I'm a firm believer, hey, I don't want to push the envelope either. And something happens. I wound up getting hurt out there trying to, you know, now I'm trying to feed my own self, my own ego, and I'm messing around and get hurt or whatever. I definitely didn't want to do that. And I never wanted to push it on anybody else that I coached. So but it was a pretty good year. And then, you know, going into my senior year after having tore my knee in spring after my junior year, going into the senior year, that's when the hopes kind of were diminishing about me playing on the next level in my head mentally, you know, because I tore it right in spring. Going into the final year of my eligibility. So when I tore it in April, I didn't think I was going to be coming back at least until sometime around October. But the starting running back went down in the first game in the first series.
Wow.
So coach was like, are you ready to go? I was like, I didn't practice all camp. I'm like, I guess, yeah. I'm good. I've been trying to tell you that. You hadn't practiced me. You hadn't put me in any meaningful reps in practice, because he was just being very super cautious with me. And which is same sentiments as why I'm so cautious with guys now, because I knew why he was doing it. He was doing it for my own benefit. So I wound up playing in that first game and doing pretty good, and rushed for 100 yards and finished with another 1,000 yards on the season, you know, which is crazy because it's only like 4 months of rehab.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. So
yeah, that's unheard of.
Yeah, we went to camp. We was there in July. I was actually running and cutting and sprinting like I was actually practicing in, you know, simulating practice, because they would never let me get in, but I'd be back there doing my own thing. But that's what happened. It was like 3 months really of rehab with a torn ACL and MCL. It was reconstructive, so it was everything that was done.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So now, Coach, you head over to so now you get a chance to get to the next level, and I want to let's talk about your time in the NFL. Where'd you go? Kind of how you got to that point, and then walk us through playing, career ends. Now what next? And then we want to get to when you start coaching.
Yeah, it started actually in spring. And we were in minicamp with New England. First off, everybody knew I was going to New England but me. You know what I mean? The trainers knew, coach knew. I didn't know. I wanted to go somewhere warm and in the South. But like I tell guys now that play for me, hey, if you want to play in the NFL, you're going to have to learn how to play in the cold. Because about 75, 80% of the teams in the NFL are in the cold belt. So above that daggone sunshine line. So yeah, I was like, I want to play somewhere else, because I had just come through all that at Kansas State. It is cold in Kansas. I don't know if anybody really knows how cold it is in the Midwest. It's cold, and it snows a lot, and it's in spring. You're still cold. You're still wearing long johns, long sleeves, stuff like that. But you know, we generally try not to do that when we play. We try to have that mentality, especially being a Florida boy. You know, you can't go anywhere in the cold and wear sleeves, because people are going to talk about you, or they're going to look at you as, oh, you from Florida, but you soft. You can't play in cold weather. You know what I mean? So yeah, here I am in New England, and I'm like, dang, I'm at another cold state. So at the top of the daggone United States, and one of the furthest team north, so almost besides Buffalo. And so I'm like, so spring comes around, we're doing well, running well, everything's going good and going great. I would say my relationship with Bill Parcells at the time was probably not the greatest, and it probably never really was the greatest, and probably never really was good at all, because his first words to me were that he wanted me to play at about 207, and I was weighing about 228, you know.
Damn.
And I'm like, what you want me to do? And, you know what I mean? I'm 21 years old at the time, and I'm like, I don't know what you want from me. No, I was 22. I was like, I don't know what you want from me. I can't get no 207. I ain't weighed 207 since I was a solid, that first year I was playing. I'm like, so anyway, it was like, oh, you think I'm playing? I was like, no, I don't. But you knew what I was when I came here. And TD, you know me. You asked me a question, I'm gonna tell you. I ain't about to. You knew what I was when I first got here. I wasn't no 207. You know what I mean? I just ballooned up to 228. No, I was a solid 228. I was pretty decent looking 228. But anyway, so that right there, it took forever for me to lose that weight. I'm just gonna put it like that. So it wasn't the prettiest situation.
Mm.
So then we go into camp. We're doing our thing in camp, and we're getting after it because it's his first year there. He wants to instill his mentality of being tough. I'm on scout team. I'm on scout team. I'm on punt team. I was on punt team. I was on punt return. I was on special teams. I was all these special teams. I ain't never played special teams. I ain't never played special teams ever. You know what I mean? No, one time. I never played in college. Corey, I ain't played not one special teams. Nothing. And so he had me on special teams. And first couple times I went, I didn't know what I was doing, and then I realized, like, look, man, I was a gunner on punt. I was like, man, just get downfield. Just muscle this dude that's over top of you. Come to find out, he was one of the baddest dudes in the league on special teams that he brought with him from the Giants. And that's all he did was play special teams. So when they traveled somebody with them, when he left the Giants, when he got to New England, he brought that dude with him. That was the dude that was stopping me from getting down the field. And I forgot his name. If I think about it, I'll tell you his name. But that dude was so good. And then about the third time, I was like, man, I'm just going to have to try to. And he was long. He was physical. And I was like, I'm going to have to figure out something. My turn came back up because we was just rotating, going one at a time, trying to get down the field. He was funneling me out of bounds. I ain't going to lie. He was funneling me, just taking me all out about 5-6 yards out of bounds. I'm all on. So then I was like, I got to figure this out. So I said, you know what? I got it. I'm gonna run right at him. I'm gonna jab left, like he gonna think I'm going right, and I'm coming back to the left. That's exactly what I did. I ran at it because he was playing like, man, I took one step to crowd his space. I jab left, jab right, went boom, boom. I beat him. So then now Parcells comes to me and says, okay, so you got that figured out now? I said, yeah, I got it figured out. So then now I'm going on offense playing running back. So at the time, Leonard Russell wasn't participating, and he was a returning AFC Rookie of the Year. So I got an opportunity. And so here I am in practice, doing my thing, and all of a sudden, my hamstring goes. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, TD. That's exactly how I felt. And I knew it as soon as it happened. And let me tell you, I would practice and practice and practice. And I kept practicing on it because I was like, man, I'm not leaving. I'm not getting cut. I don't want to get cut because I know how this is. Because there was guys getting cut. They were pulling people off the field, man, during practices. Next thing you know, you go back in, you don't even see them no more. And I was like, darn, they cutting. This is a serious cutthroat right here. So I was like, man, I know they're going to try to cut me, man. If I get hurt, I tell this man I'm hurt, but I was hurt.
Coach O in the building. What's up, baby?
Hey.
What up, Coach O?
Oh, man, I appreciate that dude, man. That dude funny, though. He's funny. He's funny. So, yeah. So, and then, man, let me tell you, probably about 2 weeks later, I was into reserve. 2 weeks later, they said, well, they wanted to release me. So I went in and had a conversation with him. We talked, had a conversation. So they kept me around a little bit longer. So to try to see if it was going to, I was going to be able to come back. And I know they probably thought I was whatever, but I knew it had happened before, and I knew how I felt, and I knew how long it took me to come back the first time when I was in college. And let me tell you, the doctors told me, he said, look, you tore the first one. You knew eventually the other one was going to do it because I overcompensated trying to rehab the other one, and it was the other one that tore. So he told me, and I was like, man. So then probably about 9th game of the season. I mean, and I hadn't really played a whole lot. I just was going through practice and simulating, but I was still gimping, still wrapped up, taped up, and rehabbing and all that. And then about the 9th game of the season, he said, hey, listen, we can't keep waiting around for this thing to get better. We're going to have to let you go. man, you talk about devastation set in. Oh my gosh, I was devastated. But I did have some preseason games in me, so I was like, okay, I'm good. I got film. So then the next year, not next year, probably 3 weeks later, I go to Detroit, brief for a while, and I'm there with Barry Sanders. And I remember Barry being at Oklahoma State because he demolished us at Kansas State, bro. When I say he demolished us, man, Barry Sanders had, and I'm gonna tell you this, he had 28 carries for 302 yards.
What?
4 touchdowns.
Woo!
Listen, 28 carries, 302, 4 touchdowns. Again, he had a 98-yard punt kickoff return for a touchdown too. Ken, I remember that because it was my freshman year. Ken, he was so good. It was ridiculous. That when I saw him in person, I was like, this is definitely different, man. Totally different running back. Look, he was a running back that I would probably never ever see again like that. Not in person, because that dude was special. So I remember him, and then I got there, man. It was all about Barry. Man, I was on the team just to be a dummy. You hear me? That's all. Hey, I was relegated to being a dummy. I said I was never ever gonna play on this team, not with him in that building. You know what I mean? And they had already had an established team too, but it was my agent was still trying to keep me relevant and keep me alive. And then I wound up bouncing to Denver. So but it just never really panned out after that. And once I had the injury, I knew I was on a downward spiral, because once you get injured like that, and I had already had the knee injury that I came back off of too early, most people said anyway. You know what I mean? So everybody was always a little leery of that too, that it was eventually going to go out or give out on me. So then I was just like, okay, well, I told my wife, I said, I guess I'm done. And I had a couple other teams call and had some Canadian League teams call, and I never ventured to it. I was like, I'm not going to play a Canadian ball. They ain't paying, but like what at the time, $35,000, $40,000. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And that's crazy. And that field's 110 yards long. I ain't doing that. I'm not going out there to kill myself to do it. So, and then arena ball call out, like, man, arena ball, that ain't even football. You know what I mean? I'm not going out there doing that either, because you're going to get hit by somebody. You're going to get hit on the wall, and you're going to hit the ground. I'm like, I ain't doing all that. I said, my body be broke up now. My body already broke. Coach Odom talk about me every day. I get up and walk. So I'm like, no. And so then I just gave it up, and then I started doing everything else but that and got into coaching, and the rest is history.
C.
Man, you talk about all those positions that you play. Which position was your favorite outside of running back? Well, I'm sure that was number one. What position did you enjoy the most? Okay, quarterback.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't tell me I wasn't a quarterback. You still can't tell me I ain't no quarterback.
Would you have gone to the NFL at quarterback?
Probably not.
Be honest. Okay. Be honest.
Probably not, Corey. Probably wouldn't have got a sniff. You know what I mean? But because back then, who was coming out back then? Sean King? No, not Sean King. What's my man at Georgia Tech back then? That's the only black quarterback that I knew. He was at Georgia Tech. I forgot his name. Daggum.
Don't get me the line.
Yeah, but he's the only one that I knew. And I played with him in an all-star game.
So Coach, when did you get to the place where you say, you know what, I'm gonna just when did coaching become that light bulb go off for you? You said, is it Bilbo?
No, that was before.
No, Joe Hamilton?
Yeah, that was
Joe Hamilton.
Yeah.
No. Yep. No, was it Joe?
Somebody say Ball.
Bilbo played wide.
Bilbo was later. Bilbo was after him.
Yeah,
he was after him.
He started at quarterback.
Now y'all gotta understand. They gotta know I'm old now, so they got
late 80s, late 80s, early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah,
he came out in 92.
Okay. So after your playing days, you say you're done. The NFL career is pretty much shot. How soon do you decide to get into coaching?
I would say it was probably. Well, you know what the funny question is, though. I'll tell you. When I got done playing, and I remember this, Jim Levitt, when he was just got the job at South Florida,
Okay.
He called me and asked me to come over and talk with him. So I drove over there. I was working at the time. I had a job in Florida down there in Lakeland. And he called me over. I went over and talked with him, and we were just talking. He said, I want you to come talk to the guys for me. I'm talking to the guys, had the conversation. So afterwards, he asked me, hey, I want you to, see if you want to come coach and coach the running backs. I said, is that what you called me over there for? I said, why didn't you just say that when I was there? He said, well, I just wanted to see how how the guys were going to respond to you when you was talking with him and when you met with him. And this was what, 97, 98? This is when he first got the job, something like that. So I was like, okay. I said, well, how much is going to pay, coach? He says $14,000.
Or what?
Jim, I don't think I can do that. I said, Coach Levitt, I don't know if I can do that. I said, I got a family. You know what I mean? I got a baby. At the time my son wasn't born, it was my daughter. I said, I got a job that's paying me more than that now, and it ain't the, that's a lot less. And hindsight 2020, because in hindsight, I should have taken that job. You know what I mean? But had I taken that job, then it probably wouldn't have me on the path where I am with a championship. We got right here at Jackson State. You know what I mean? So I think I had a passion back then, but I just didn't have the avenue of how to take it or how to maneuver it, because I didn't stick around at Kansas State. I took those trips in the league to different places, and I didn't go the GA route. So I didn't know how to maneuver my way into coaching in the college level. So I just wound up doing it at the high school, where I was raised at a high school down there, not too far from my house. So that's how it got started. Because after Coach Levitt had offered that job and I turned it down, I was like, well, shoot, I might well go get into coaching. So I started coaching part-time at the school. I wasn't a teacher because I had a job. I was going after school. So I had restructured my schedule and spoke with some people in administration about my schedule and how I can get out of there early to go. And it was about the community. So they let me, they used that as an avenue to say, hey, okay, he's going to be working with the community.
Yeah.
That's how I got into coaching.
Wow.
Yeah.
TD?
Okay. So there's a lot of stuff said, Coach. First of all, let me ask you this, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen Silent Night at Christmas?
What? What's that got to do with anything? Ken Clark. Hey, you didn't ask Ken that. Ken got a beard.
No, I'm talking about the voice.
Not the beard.
Oh, you know what, man? Don't do that. Oh, you
What the hell, man? That's a good TD, bro.
TD. You know what? See, I knew you was gonna. I knew you was gonna be on that. I knew you were gonna be on that stuff.
That dude said he ever seen Silent Night.
Seen Silent Night at Christmas.
That was a good one, man. That was a good one. I like that.
It's original. It's authentic and original. I appreciate it.
You know the Temptation song, man.
2 years.
What's 2 years? 2 years. What's 2 years?
That's you narrating the video, man. That's C. Lee right there, brother. C. Lee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Coach. So you get into coaching, you get into high school coaching part time, and then I guess you end up liking it. When did you really get that feel for, and like this is what I want to do full time, to cause you to transition from the job you was doing?
Well, you know what? I didn't think about it until I was offered it.
Okay.
Because I had became the head coach down at the high school where I was. Pretty much, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's almost the same storybook that Prime wrote. You know what I mean? It's just he made it public what happened. Well, what happened with me, I had coached my son when my son had no idea I played football. Let me tell you that first off. He was probably 10, 11 years old before he found out I played football. because I never really had a whole lot of memorabilia around. I didn't have a whole lot of stuff. I didn't have no footballs. I didn't have trophies. All that stuff was at my mom's house over in storage. So he went to school one day, and one of his friends told him, hey, my dad told me your dad was the man of whatever, at high school and all this stuff, right? So my son, I pick him up every day. I take him to school every day. I pick him up every day. So he comes to tell me, he said, Dad, he said, I didn't know you played football. He said, so-and-so, I forgot the little kid's name. He said, yeah, his daddy said that you was good and all this and that. And he says, you ain't never tell me that. I said, you never asked.
Oh,
so he then said he wanted to play football. He wanted to sign up for football. And I was like, you want to play football? He said, yeah, I want to play football. So that spring, when it rolled around for them to, Pop wanted football, I signed him up. And he played football. And then I was looking at that and I just was watching. The one thing I did want was, I want to make sure my son get good coaching, good teaching. That was Pop Warner. I didn't know any of the people, because where he grew up was a little different than how I grew up. So he had a lot of coaches, but I don't think they really knew football. So then I started going out there more and more every day. Now I'm, hey, what are y'all doing? Hey, get over here. Da, da, da. Hey, so now I'm doing all this from the sideline. So then the next thing you know, I didn't integrate it. Now I'm on the field, on the sideline. So it's like, I can't just sit by here and watch this. It's, hey, man, coach, you want to come coach with us? You want to be a coach? And da, da, da. I said, matter of fact, yeah, let me come out here and coach a little bit because y'all ain't finna go out here and mess my son up. And, and y'all not teaching him some football, techniques and rules and stuff, and all that. So that's how I knew then I wanted to get into coaching. And I followed him from Little League. I was now at the same time I was coaching Little League for about four years. I then became a varsity football coach at the high school. So now I'm the offensive coordinator because the head coach had called and asked me to come be the offensive coordinator. So I was the offensive coordinator for like 3 years at this high school while my son was still in Little League. So I was going to high school practices and Little League practice on the same field, same practice fields that high school did because it was a farm team. So we were practicing there. So I would stick around and go get him after practice and bring him to practice. So I'm out there all day now. So now it's become a full-time thing. So I'm coaching high school, and then I'm coaching him on Little League. And then I'm going to high school games on Friday, and I'm going to Little League games on Saturdays. And so as he was moving, he started at the Pee Wee level because he was late getting in at 10, 11 years old. So he started at the Pee Wee, which is like C squad. Then it goes to the B squad, which is junior varsity. Then it went to the A squad. So I coached him all of those years. And so then he gets to the high school. So the high school coach now says, hey, we get a new high school head coach, and he wants to retain me to stay. And so I was like, well, what position am I coaching and what do you want me to coach? He says, well, I want you to be this. He said, I want you to be the coordinator for me. I said, okay, cool. So what's the deal? He said, I want all coaches who's on campus, to be in my top spots. At the time I was mad and upset about it. I was like, man, whatever. I can out coach this dude. But anyway, I said, okay, I'll tell you what then, coach. How about let me go be the JV head coach? Because when I went to high school, they didn't let my son play varsity. They wanted to play JV because it was in 9th grade. So when my son was going to 9th grade and I knew he wasn't on the varsity team, I said, well, just let me go coach the JV team. So I brought my staff with me, everybody that I had that followed me every year on up, except for one guy. So brought that whole staff with me, and we wound up winning the daggone county, went undefeated. So then the next year, my son's going to 11th grade. I said, hey, look, I want to go and be on the varsity. Well, lo and behold, I wound up getting the head job as the varsity head football coach. So then now I got a varsity team and a JV team. So now people from the community have migrated from the Lakeland, the Kathleen's, the Mulberries, to all the other schools. All the kids are flocking now to come to this one school that nobody never really wanted to go to. It's called George Jenkins High School. And it was named after the guy that owns Publix. So now everybody wants to come to this school. I had 115 kids on JV and 85 on varsity. So I had about 10 or 11 coaches on varsity. I had about 8 on JV. So yeah, it was a big program. So now I started having all these kids coming to school. So I took this team. We went and marched and played the top teams in the country, in the country, which was Lakeland High School.
Yeah.
We played Kathleen, which was top in the state, which is where I went to school at Kathleen. We played Lake Gibson. All three of those should have got knocked off by us. Some technicalities. Yeah, because we were George Jenkins and they were who they were. But they knew that time was coming, all that was about to change. Well, lo and behold, I get a call from Eric Wolford. He wants to come down and recruit one of my defensive ends. So he's recruiting them. And then he says, hey, I want you to come up here and fly up on our recruiting trip just so you can see how the place looks. You know, and you can come be with the kid because we really want the kid too. So I flew up there in 2013, right after our season. And I was up there the whole weekend. So as he's taking, I'm up there Friday. He's taking me back on
Where'd
Sunday
you go?
to Youngstown State.
Youngstown. Okay.
Yeah. And I knew Eric Wolford because he and I had played together at Kansas State. He was an offensive lineman. So Eric says, hey, you know, I brought you up here because I want this. We're sitting at the airport. He's dropping me off at the airport. He said, hey, I want you to be my running back coach. I want you to come up here and see the play. I said, what? You want me to come up here and coach running backs? I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, I seen how you run your program. He said, when I came down there, he came down twice. He said, I was coming down there. He said, I interviewed you through your players. And your players told me all what you were about, how disciplined you were, how structured you were, how everything. They knew. He said they wouldn't even take a helmet. He said, gee, I was at your practice. They didn't even take a helmet off till you told them to take a knee. Then they took a knee. Then you said helmets off. Then they took the helmets off. He said that was the most. He said that they alone clicked it for me. And he said, I want you to think about it. I'm gonna give you 2 weeks. So I said, okay, let me think about it. I go home, talk to my wife, whatever, blah blah blah. So I get on the plane. I'm flying back. I told my wife about it, whatever. The next day, that joker called me back. He said, what do you think? He said, you got a decision for me? I said, you said you're going to give me 2 weeks. It's just it ain't been a good day. So, but I knew then I wanted to take it. I knew I was going to take it. But I was just trying to stretch the 2 weeks out because I had just took the head job that I said I was never going to leave. There wasn't going to be a revolving door. And then now I'm leaving. And plus my son was there. So, but my son had already, you know, as a sophomore, now he had already gotten a few offers, Division I, you know, FBS offers. So I was like, okay, as long as he's taking care of him, good. And that's when I had to, boom, I was like, I'm gone, I'm out. And I had a really, 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 really great year the first year. I had a great running back who was the Jerry Rice Award finalist, came in third place. Second place, he lost the Cooper Cup. And he was from Florida, and he was a freshman of the year. All come full circle. He was a freshman of the year. He was Missouri Valley Player of the Year. And he was on the freshman first team, All-American team. So it's actually pretty good. And that's when I knew it was me. This is what I want to do.
And coach, the high school team, how were you able to outfit all of those players, man? That was a lot of players for high school.
It was, but we had a good booster club, number one. So I will not take that away from them. We had a really good booster club, but I came out of pocket for a lot of it too. You know what I mean? Because I was blessed. You know what I mean? And God had done a lot of miraculous things in my life, and I was so thankful for it. And I was always willing and ready to give back. And I'm willing to do for anybody anytime I can, if I can. You know, if it permitted. And I was just really blessed and fortunate to do so. And I mean, let me tell you this: even high school games, man, we travel on charter buses. You know what I mean? We would travel 4 minutes down the road to Lakeland High School. It was 4 minutes down the road. We took a charter bus.
What?
Yeah. So we was doing it in style. So we ain't like how we are at Jack State now. I didn't have a Sprinter van and all this stuff. But you know what I'm saying? We was doing some things that was a little bit different before its time. But I wanted the kids to really understand and feel what was going on. We were impacting a lot of people, and we were turning heads. It took this really a doormat type program to a different level. You know what I mean? Where everybody looked at it, oh, that's just a bunch of rich kids over there, the George Jenkins kids. You know what I mean? But it was like, hey, hard-nosed football players that now we had a system. I had little league teams running my system, running offense schemes, the same thing that we were teaching in the varsity. So they was coming up through the program. So I think that's why we were so impactful that first year. It made a big jump, and we were knocking people off and then knocking people out. I mean, like, people were getting ready to go to playoffs. Boom, we killed them. Playoff. We was called the playoff killers at one point. You know, it was Seriously, I mean, we were doing some things that people weren't ready for, and they had no idea. But I had a good group of coaches around me, just like Coach TC. You know, you assemble a great coaching staff. There's no telling what you're going to achieve as long as you give a directive what direction you want to head in, and that's the first thing that happened. So, and that's what happened.
I mean, TD, you got something else? I'm finished.
Yeah. I want to ask you real quick, Coach.
Okay.
I always, growing up, I never really understood coaching. I always thought, hey, it was the players that really made the team. Hey, you got a great quarterback, great running back, defensive line, whatever the case may be. I never understood coaching until I started watching. It always kind of amazed me how a program could be bad. Then you bring in one man, and all of a sudden the program starts to change to where they become like the powerhouse. And you said you was at a doormat program. What do you think exactly it was that you was doing to make that program, competitive like it was?
It's similar to what, and I'm not going. I don't want to inflate or think someone. I'm sucking up to anybody, but it's almost the same process that TC and O put together here. I did the same thing there in high school. I brought some guys with me that I knew, that I trusted, and that I knew had energy at practice, because we was electric in practice, man. We were going at a very, very, very high level. And I think when you, and I say this all the time, and it's not about getting the players to buy. I don't believe in the term buy-in.
Okay.
It's not about, because you're not really selling anything. You're just getting them to believe and have faith in what your process is. It's the same thing that, TC said last spring, when by the time I got here, he was talking about, we're going to win a championship. We're going to win a championship. We're built for this. We're a championship built team. And then you start to believe it. Then you start to act like it. And then there was a point where he got in and he started saying, hey, you need to walk like a champion. Put your shoulders back, have your swag. Same concept. Same thing I was teaching back then with those kids. I told them, I said, look here, we're no longer a doormat. We're going to let everybody know from game one who we are and what we believe in and what we do. You know what I mean? And so and I was going to do everything that I could to do it, not somewhat similar, but I did it different than what the previous coach did. Because I knew we had to bring about change, had to bring about a whole different type of energy. It was about the energy that was flowing. And it's about the energy of the head coach. Because sometimes it takes a change to promote change. You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes a little bit of gumption from that person who's in charge to say, hey, this is how we're going to go about it. You think that things haven't changed with us this year, that's going to be changed with us this year versus last year? That's last year's team. Last year won the 24 national championship. It ain't the 25 team. So guess not what? We got to change. We got to change, meaning do some things better than what we did. And that's why we've already begun the process of that. So that's the same MO that I had. And I just took that energy, man, and it was about fusing those coaches together to let those players know, and then started doing things with players. I'll be honest with you, like in the summertime, all the players would come to my house. Like all 100 and something would come to my house, tear it up, and I had to get it fixed, and had to have a plumber come back over, had to have the pool people come clean the pool, and had to go out and get cleaning people to do all the stuff, mess up all the stuff they messed up. But it was about the camaraderie and how we were going to get these guys together to play as one, to believe in each other. So that's what we did. And every week we had some type of venture. We would go play what's the little tag thing with they do all kinds of laser tag. Then we go to the game rooms, but we were doing all this stuff every week with the team, man. We started doing stuff in the community. We got cleanup days. People didn't know that. We was doing cleanup days, going around the community to clean up. We would clean up certain neighborhoods on the other side of town where we don't live, and put our bags. And I had trash bags made with George Jenkins football on them, GJ football. And we would clean them up and stack them in a pile. Then we go to another neighborhood the next weekend, clean them up, pick them up in a pile. Then I take them somewhere and take them go swimming, or I take them to go eat at CC's Pizza, or go here. And we were doing all these different things, man, to bring those guys together. And that's when it clicked with them. Hey, we a brotherhood, we a team. and that's how it happened.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that, Coach. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome.
Hey, Coach. So, man, so many ways we can go, but I want to we're gonna bounce around just a little bit. I know you go to Youngstown State. You had to stop at Robert Morris as an offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Stop at NCAT. I want to get to this stopover in 2018. 2018. We're gonna fast forward. This is pre-prime. I think you pull up to Jackson, Mississippi. No, 2019.
2019.
I said 2019. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about A.D. Robinson when he said his speech on the stage. He's like, he came to Jackson in 2018. That's my mistake.
Yeah.
Listen, so you get to Jackson 2019. Let's talk about that first stop in Jackson. It was kind of like a grand opening, grand closing real quick. So let's talk about that, and then we'll work our way back to Jackson. Because we can't just pick up this year. And we gotta pick up the first stop. Then you wind up leaving and coming back, and then we'll go to you, the Corsi, after this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I came here. I came on an interview. I had an interview, and I was interviewing I had an interview in front of the whole entire coaching staff.
Now, who's the head coach at this time?
Huh?
Who's the head coach?
The head coach is John Hendricks.
John Hendricks. Yep.
Yeah, and they had just made a couple changes on the staff. So they TC wound up getting the OC job, and Coach Dickerson wound up going to receivers.
Yep. Coach
O was coaching the offensive line, and I was going to be coaching the tight ends. And I forgot the one coach that was coaching the running backs. God almighty, he escapes me.
Who was the running back coach then? Is it McCall?
No, not McCall. I think it began with a B. I forgot his name. O would know who I'm talking about. So he was coaching the running backs.
I don't remember much prior to that. I don't remember nothing from 2013 to 2020. My memory.
It wasn't really much to remember for me because it was so short lived.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're here, and we're. I was on an interview, and I'm telling you, that was an eye opening interview because it made me realize, man, like, okay, this is the process you have to go through to get a job. Like, man, this is tough. You know what I mean? I had to do a lot of preparation.
Brady Ackerman. That's
Brady
right. Ackerman. Yes.
I told you Coach O would know.
Hey, he was also hey, Corey, you remember Brady, right? Boom.
That was from Florida, yeah.
Yeah, from Florida. Florida running back.
Ocala, right? From Ocala.
Yeah. He was also our
Brady coordinator for us. I knew it began with the B, though.
Brady Ackerman. That's right.
So, yeah, he was here, and, it is a funny story between TC, O, and myself, because I wound up getting the job. Coach Hendricks hired me over. I actually interviewed against Brian Jenkins. And he said that he was going to let the coaches vote. So the coaches voted. So I won like 7-2 or something like that. So it was 2 people on the staff that voted for Coach Jenkins. And it was, I think, 7 that voted for me or something, 6 or 7 that voted for me. So I was like, who's the 2 that didn't vote for me? Everybody. That's what I want to know.
Right.
Because then I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah. Right.
And I know who to watch and who not to watch. You know what I mean? Or who to pay attention to. Because it's like, okay, I'm not saying that they my enemy. Got to keep enemies closer. I'm just saying I just need to know who they are because I need to know if they want to understand me better. You know what I mean? Maybe I didn't do a better job. Maybe I didn't do a good enough job in my interview process. That's the only reason why I wanted to know, but they never would tell me who the 2 were. I told TC and O, I'm saying this now. It could have been them 2 for all I know.
Yeah. I was thinking. No,
What? I bet you O gonna say something and say you gonna see it. But no, I know it wasn't them because we clicked right away. Like
I see that day. I told you.
He say that,
oh God.
I told you. So they wound up taking me to lunch, right? So we was asking, we was going to lunch, and we was going to lunch like we was cool, like we had been knowing each other for a while. And so I just asking, like, man, we sitting there just talking, because I was asking questions about some of the stuff that I saw on film. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing? And they never would say anything in the meeting. But afterwards, they took me to lunch. They was like, Coach, the guy who you asking all them questions about, he's sitting right here in the room. I said, oh my goodness. So that was his offense? Because I was like questioning what, some stuff that I had seen or what. TD, I don't go ask questions. I just ask. I mean, and I had no filter.
That's why we vibe.
I was asking the questions. And then TC and O was like, you talking about this. You talking about the man in the room. I was like, oh my God, I was embarrassed. Seriously, I was embarrassed. I was like, man, dang, here I go. You know what I mean? Why I got to be in this situation? So anyway, yeah, it was great with them, and it was great with TC. What we did was we started going through the offense, and he was telling us some stuff that he was going to do and explaining to us, and I was trying to catch on and what they were doing, because they had already kind of started some of it before I got there. And then we would have these Zoom meetings all the time, and then it came down. I think it was in probably June or July, something like that, and they called, and it was COVID, so we weren't really on campus. I was here for a little while, then COVID comes, they got to leave, go off campus, because none of us really knew the impact of any of this. This was sometime around in February.
Yep.
Right.
But then we come back. We have a couple of days of spring ball or spring training, as far as like mat drills and stuff like that. And that's the last thing that we had, and that's the last thing I remember before we left and went home. And so we were all displaced, and I was down in Florida, and they got a call and said we need to come back. The AD wants to meet with us. So me and I come back a couple of days early. Me and we out golfing. Now, fast forward. Knew what was going on. He ain't say nothing to me. And I'm out here. Now, I listen. Hindsight 2020, I just left a job for this job, right? I had a job. I wasn't looking for a job. So anyway, and I told Coach Hendricks that when he hired me, I said, Coach, I said, man, I just left a job. And here I am getting fired. And we came back, and said, what you think the meeting's going to be about? I don't know. I don't know what he's going to tell us. Knew what the meeting was going to be about. And he said, I don't know. It sounds like pretty serious to me. I didn't read none of them signals he was trying to tell me. So anyway, I go in and meet with the AD, and AD Robinson says, hey, man, just want to let you know we're going in a different direction. Then he says, let me tell you what the kicker was, too. Now, me and AD cool now, but man, AD told me, he said, I didn't know we was frat. I said, I wanted to say, if you did, would that have changed your mind?
Right.
Right.
But I didn't. I went in all professional with a suit on, dressed up, because I'm meeting with him. I said, yeah, I get it. I understand. You going in? I know, right? Like you didn't know. He talking like. So yeah, that's how it happened. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, it's just it is what it is, and so I started looking for a job.
What was the explanation?
They was just going in a different direction.
Oh, that was it, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the catch-all phrase.
How did you end up down here initially? Anyway, did you apply for the position? Were you called?
I was called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach Hendricks called me. I had actually texted him and I said, texted him and said, hey, Coach, Merry Christmas. Because I do that because, I had knew him from Kansas State, and he was one of the only African-American coaches on the staff at Kansas State at the time. He always had one, you know what I mean? So he was the one. And so I had texted him and told him Merry Christmas and I'm wishing you and your family Happy New Year, because I stayed in touch with him. And he responded back and said, hey, I'm going to call you later on today. I said, oh, okay. I'm like, that's strange. That's odd. So at the time when he called me, and he wound up saying, hey, look, I told you I was going to call you. I just, hey, how you doing? He gave me all this. How you doing? How's everything going? Blah, blah, blah. And then he wound up saying, hey, look, I got a position open. I want to bring you in. I want to interview you for it. He said, I want you to interview for the staff. And it's a wide receiver position. It's going to pay X amount of dollars. And I said, okay, great. I said, that sounds good. And so I go in the house. I tell my wife at the time, I was like, listen, babe, listen. This Coach Henry just called me and said he got a job at Jackson State. She said, really? She said, where's that? I said, Mississippi. In Jackson, Mississippi. So she was like, really? I was like, yeah. So anyway, I fly out here for the interview, and the rest was history. So yeah, he called me.
Corey.
When you got there that first time in 2019, is that when you started to build a relationship with TC and O? Or did you have a relationship? Okay.
Yeah, we had a good relationship. I thought we had a good relationship. Coach O and I hit it off really well because he was playing golf, you know, and he had just started golfing, and I was playing golf, and I'm still trying to learn how to play golf. And so we hit it up. We would go to the golf course. We would go to Pete Brown. We went to a couple others around the area, and I became familiar with Jackson. That's when I really started to like Jackson, and then TC, but TC wasn't golfing at the time. So, but it was just mainly, having a relationship with him in the office, and then just, talking, on the phone here and there with him when we were on Zooms and different things and when we were displaced. But O and I had started first with just going out and golfing. He was, like I said, he was in the beginning stages of it. And, that's how the relationship started and progressed from there. And then, I would always see if I saw TC or out or somewhere or a convention or whatever, we would talk and, have conversations and stuff like that. But it was always, I would text and always say, hey man, what's going on? How y'all doing? Blah, blah, or he would text and say, hey, what's going on? This and that. So it was there because it was there when I was first here, before I left. So, and it just never really dissipated. You know what I mean? So it kind of just worked itself through and came full circle.
So now, Coach, you go away. That's when you get the Robert Morris and then the NCAT. You see that Jackson State hires Coach Prime. We had some good success. 2 years under him, win the SWAC championship. Didn't win the Celebration Bowl, but now Coach Taylor takes over as the head coach. Goes 7-4 his first year. Let's fast forward to where you were. I think you were in CAT. Let's talk about when Coach Taylor reaches out to you and kind of what led into the thought process about taking his job and coming back. Because it wasn't like you wasn't working. You already had a job. And I know you said I think previous time when we talked, your previous stop, the coach wanted you to stay. But what led to the let's talk about the call and what led to you shooting to come back to Jackson State.
That was funny. That was funny. I was in a staff meeting, and I'm telling you, seriously, like my phone was sitting here to my left, and the head coach sits right next to me to the left. I sat right next to him in the front, and it says head coach TC phone buzz, and there's no screen protecting on it where you can't see the screen thing.
No privacy screen.
No privacy screen. So it said head coach TC Taylor. I looked at that phone and looked at it. I hit my watch like that.
Too late.
But I didn't know why he was calling. Because, TC would just call because I would call him and we would just have a conversation. And we would just rap and that'd be about it. And we had talked previous to that. And and that whole time, even while Prime was here, I was still texting him. And I even told TC when I was at Robert Morris as an OC and he was the OC, he had took over the OC job here.
Yeah.
And it was the game, they would get ready to play the championship game, the Celebration Bowl. And I said, hey man, good luck, call a great game and go win it. Something like that I said in the text. He said, and then when I wound up talking to him, he said he wasn't calling. I said, what? You didn't call? You're not gonna call? He said, no. He said, man, it's a long story. He was, he told me what, and I was blowed. Anyway,
we all were.
Yeah, so I was blowed. So fast forward to him calling me. When I got that call, I didn't take it initially. I waited till I got out of the staff meeting, and I went to my office because I didn't want to go right immediately out and call it back because I didn't know what was going on because he hadn't called in just like that in the middle of the day. Normally we call like in the afternoon time. So I went outside. I called him when I was in my. I went back to my office and called him, and then he started talking, and he had a different tone, different conversation piece. Hey, how you doing? Good, man. Hey, good. How's everybody? Oh, they're good, coach. They're good. What's going on with you? How y'all doing? And he said, how's NCAT? He said, how's the ANT treating you? Is what he said. I said, it's treating. I said, he treating pretty good, coach. I said, I ain't got no problems, no quarrels or nothing. I said, it's all good. I said, how y'all doing over there, man? I said, y'all ready to do it? Y'all gonna, get ready, get that thing going? And he said, yeah, man. We just, we looking, we looking and we discussing some things and da. And then that's when I said, and after we started talking about, Jackson State, I said, is O with you? He said, yeah, he right here. I said, oh, I knew he was gonna be with you. What is he doing? I said, I ain't got nothing to say to him. Tell him I ain't talking to him. I don't have nothing to say to him. He said, what's up? He said, what's up with that? I said, man, that man ain't called me back. I said, I texted him. I hit him up to see what's going on. He ain't hit me back yet. I said, I tell him I'm still waiting on him to respond. That's how my conversation was before I even got on the phone and talk with O. So, that just speaks to the relationship that we have. Mm-hmm. He's gonna have his fun and heyday every day he can with me, and he makes sure he lets me know. So yeah, the conversation went as he offered me the job, and I said, absolutely. You know what I mean? Why would I not? And it wasn't that I knew that we was gonna have a championship run team. It was just the fact of coming back. And I saw somebody say earlier about relationships and everything. It's because we have a good relationship. And why would I not want to come back and be with some people that I'm going to have a great relationship with? And I know, and then the conversation that we had and what he talked about and what he stood for. I mean, I already knew that. And he didn't really have to have a 5-minute conversation with me to ask me to come back. You know what I mean? It could have been like, hey, E, I need you to be here March 1st. All right. I appreciate you. Click, hung up the phone. And I would have been there without any more conversation. If he'd let the conversation like that, because that's, I think between me, him, and we just had such a great relationship when I was here, and even the one that we maintained throughout the time. Why would I not? And it wasn't really even anything about salary, about money, or nothing like that. It was just about relationships.
Right.
Wow. And then lo and behold, look what happened. Look what transpired.
Hey, Coach. First thing I want to know, you already had a relationship with Coach Taylor, and from previous years. Mm-hmm. Why was his name Head Coach TC Taylor in your phone? At what point did you change that?
Oh, I changed it when he got the head job. I always do. I mean, if somebody gets something, I put respect on that thing, man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like if you changed and you became the president of the United States, put your name in POTUS. You know what I mean? TD. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. You ain't TD no more.
We'll take POTUS TD over what we. Like. Keep going, man. Keep going.
Hey, like TC. Like people call it TC. I don't call him TC. You know what I mean? I call him Coach Taylor.
Yeah, so do I.
You know what I mean? I put the respect on him, and he'll say, "Man, I'm TC." No, you're not. And like I tell him all the time, no, man, no, we got, and then you put respect on him because it's going to filter its way down. Yeah. Right. And the same thing, like I tell him all the time, we have to bless him. We have to pray for him too, man, because he's the head, not the tail. You know what I mean? He's going to be the one leading us. We're under his covering. You know what I mean? So we got to lift him up where he's supposed to be because he's in charge of us. He said, respect those who are in authority over you, and you bless them, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. That, and we show that by what we do every day. So, awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Coach, you make your way back to Jackson. You accept the job, and we talked about your running back room. So let's get into the preparation of this season, and let's get into some, I guess, the personnel. You had a really deep running back room. Coach is pretty much he's adding you with some other coaches to his staff. And then you get in and then you start training in the springtime. When did you know that your room was going to be special? Because I do want to get to the part where we start talking about your running backs. You have a Herb Mulligan, you have a Travis Terrell Jr., You have a Desmond Moultrie, Amari Matthews. I just kind of want to give you an opportunity to really talk about your room and just talk about the success that you had with this group and how you were able to put your touch on them to get the best out of them that you saw this past season.
In all actuality, I thought we would be okay because I really didn't know truly. You know, I had watched some film on Irv, I had watched some film on JD, and I had watched some film on Ahmad. I went, you know, on the Google and watched that stuff where they were previously, and I watched the film that they had here last year. I didn't really know how good or how talented they could really be. And I had seen Travis's film. I saw all the running back stuff that I could find to look at to see what type of player they were and what type of makeup they would bring to the table and what was their strength and what was their weaknesses. And so, having said that, with that room, everybody said the room was deep, but I always believe that, you know, the deeper the room, the better the outcome, because you force guys to compete competitively with each other while at the same time being unselfish, which is very tough. So that takes a little bit of moxie and a little bit of a gumption on how you go about doing it and how you go about making that room what it is and blending those behaviors together to work for the benefit of the overall group and the team. And I'm not just saying that just because it sounds good, it may sound good. I'm saying it because that's how I approach it. A lot of people don't know that. I probably don't understand it, or probably they got their own way of doing it, or it's probably never been explained or said in a way, but that's how I tried to do it. By the time we got through spring, and I think I had to, you guys brought me on as the very last coach to speak.
Right.
I just thought I'd throw that little dig.
Right. I heard
trying to say the best for last, man.
Yeah.
Boom, Corey.
I kind of gave y'all. I gave y'all a little bit. Corey, you ain't even. Corey, I asked you, and you was like, you didn't even have an answer why I came on so late.
Look, I gave you.
We're gonna break this up in 3 parts.
I gave you 3 episodes. Only person, Coach TC don't even get 3 episodes. Come on now.
Yeah, because I had 13, 14 people to talk about. You had me going through every one of them daggone guys, man. I'm like, God. And so, anyway, when I had the interview with y'all, I kind of gave y'all a snippet. I kind of told you. I don't even know if you remember when you kept asking me what, I say, Travis Terrell, he's special. You kept saying, what?
Yeah, we clipped that.
You'll find out. You wasn't going to get any information. Yeah, y'all wanted to know the goods, but we knew how we were going to use him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we knew we had a pretty good room. I knew we had a pretty good room then. And then it was about the beauty of it was having as much time as I could get with them and try to get them not to buy in, but to believe what they were seeing and what the end result of the process would be. That was the most magical and beautiful thing about it.
So Coach, how were you able to do any recruiting yourself for the room? Did you have any hands in it, or was it already set for you?
That room was already kind of set.
Okay.
Last year's room was already set. The only one that came in after the fact for me was Bryson Moss.
Okay.
And I think because Nate was already slated, Dez and Zeke and Amari, they were already there. Kobe was already slated along with Travis. And then there was JD and Irv as well. So, yeah, that room was kind of pretty much set. The only other newcomer was Bryson Moss after the fact, because we went into the portal just to grab another one just in case. And it wound up, helping us in another area position that when we wound up getting depleted in. And Mike Smith was already assigned to as well. So pretty much that room was intact when I got here. And it was just You know, that's why I said I was just blessed to have a room that I could just go ahead and put a little stamp on some things and help promote some good success out of it.
So Coach, you just showed up and got a check then. Huh? It was already there.
Pretty much. It's pretty much. No, but you know what though? Let me tell you, hey, it may seem like that. It may seem like that, but there was some work put in now.
Coach, I want to get your thoughts on just let's talk about Irv. I know Irv was he was banged up for a good little minute, late surgery. He's scheduled to return game number 3, and he goes on to have 1,000-yard season. I know we were talking about that was them last what game was that, man? I think it was Alabama State. We wanted him to eclipse 1,000, and he wound up didn't. But we had a conversation with you, and you were kind of frustrated a little bit. You was like, man, Irv should have been over 1,000, you know. But you talked about a little bit of the little ins and outs of some things that you was coaching him up on, and let's talk about your relationship with him and just the overall success that he had, you know, being the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. That's a pretty cool award, man, and being first.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. You know, Irv is a different animal. You know what I mean? He's an animal on the football field, and he carried that mentality over in the way he played, and that's why I call him the Beast. You know. And he had that thought process, and he had that mindset. So that now it is not about taming the beast. It's about keeping the beast in the parameters and in the scope of what you want them to do, and then letting them loose in it.
Love it.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell him that all the time. And I said, I'm not going to bottle you up and try to hold you back. I will never do that. What I do want you to do is do within the confines of what we're trying to teach in this offense. Now, if I need you to, you know, read these holes out from A gap to A gap, then that's where you need to go. Don't be bouncing and hitting all out there in C gap when ain't nothing out there, and then you got a safety that you got to, you know, deal with. So my whole thing with him was just teaching him the little nuances of the game schematically that I thought would help him be successful. And early on, there was a little resistance because Irv wanted to be Irv. I said, Irv, listen, you got to understand what I'm doing too. I'm preserving your body while I'm trying to teach you what you're looking at and where you should be running. Because those things that you think are going to help you really isn't helping you. It's hurting you. The things that I want you to do, that's going to bring you a lot of success. And the things that we talk about in our offensive coaching staff room, all those things, we bring all those things back full circle to him. And that's what brought him success. Because after about the 7th game, 8th game, then that's when he came to me. And he'll tell you, he's like, Coach, you know, you're right. I see it. I say, yeah. And then how we tried to manage him every game and how I tried to manage and make sure that he was going to sustain himself for the full season. Yeah. Because there were times that he want to get back out there, and then there were times when I didn't want him to, you know, and then when it came down to it, you know, there were times when he wanted his other teammates to get glory. Like there were times when we got down in the red zone and he come out for one play or whatever, and I'm like, hey, you don't score on this, you going back in. He said, no, Coach. He said, let them boys eat too. They need to score too. Which I didn't realize he wound up having 13 touchdowns himself. That's 78 points alone with 1,300 yards rushing. So he could have eclipsed it. But I knew getting to what we were trying to, I, in my head, had it planted how many yards he was going to start needing after about the 6th game of the season, because he really didn't play even the 3rd and the 4th game. Okay, I'll answer that. But about the 3rd or 4th game, people don't realize this. The 3rd, he only played like maybe 9 snaps total. He not 9 carries, 9 snaps. Then the 4th game was the same exact way. I increased it maybe to about 15 snaps because I wasn't just going to throw him back out there. Oh, I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm back. No, that's not how you get back. So he only had about 25 snaps total. I'm talking about plays. I ain't talking about runs. I'm talking about total plays. So of those plays, he didn't always get the ball. So some of them he was out on routes or blocking.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't pick on any of this up starting to about the 5th, 6th game. So that's when we started. You start noticing when he got to about 400 or 500 yards. That's when I said, "Hey, you're gonna need X amount to get your 1,000 yards." And so I started rapping it in my head every game, and thankful that Travis SID was coming down and giving me some numbers too to help with that while we were playing. And probably I wasn't detracting myself from the game. It was only when we were off the field I would go to Trav. How many yards Irv had? What was he? Okay, then I would know what he needed. And we just kind of managed it from that standpoint. But yeah, it probably could have been there soon. He done some things schematically, what we was asking him to do, besides going out and just being beast mode, without being beast mode within the confines of the offense beast mode.
Mm.
Yeah.
Corey.
I wanted to answer that part.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and answer that one.
Yeah, what areas of his game? I think the one thing that he's really if he wants to be a really, really, really good back in the NFL and he wants to sustain and get himself in there, he's got to pick on more and do more is catching the ball out of the backfield. We didn't do a lot of it. We didn't do a ton of it. But if he can continue to catch the ball out of the backfield, and if he goes to these combines or he goes to these all-star games and he catches the ball out of the backfield and he does a good job with that, then he'll wound up. That knock on him, which they called it a knock because he really didn't get that many catches, but he did have a lot of catches down the field. We will open up some games and run some rail routes with him. So he can catch the ball and he has really good hands. That's one of the things. The other thing, number 2, everybody knows he can run the ball. He's a physical runner. He's got good speed. And I think he's going to run faster than a lot of people think he's going to run. But I think the one thing he really can pick up on too is blitz pickup. Blitz pickup, because that's the one thing that Saquon Barkley does really well. Yeah, that's one thing that Jahmyr Gibbs and all those great running backs in the NFL can do really well. The Fred Taylors, Ezekiel Elliott was a great blitz pickup blocker. If you can do that, then you can be an every down back because now they know he can run between the tackles and he can get outside and he can also catch the football out of the backfield and he can block and pick up blitzes from linebackers who are coming from depth or whether they're on the line of scrimmage. So if he do those things, that's what's going to sustain him. My biggest thing is, like I've been telling him, the one thing I want him to do is just get to a club, just get to somebody's camp. Because if he can get to somebody's camp, then he's going to be, I think, whatever he brings, whenever he gets the opportunity to get to someone's camp, then he'll show them what he can do. And they'll see the exact same things that I see. And the same things that I shared with my sentiments with the scouts when they come in and want to see him from various ball clubs in the NFL.
With him leaving, what's going to be the biggest void on the field and off the field, and what do you think it's going to take to replace that?
The biggest void for him leaving is his leadership through his actions on the field. Because he did. Now, granted, I'm a very big stickler on very detailed things. Even if Irv would step with the wrong foot or he wouldn't get on his toe and he would have his heel flat, I would get on him about it. He knew it. He knew the reason why, and he knew it was going to help him, Corey. So I'm going to miss, and what the team's going to miss is his physicality. I got to have somebody else to be like that because he's a guy that's going to run between the tackles and he's going to make you think twice if you want to tackle them or not. And that's that beast mode mentality that I talk about. So that's the one element of his game that people knew what he was bringing to the table. It wasn't even a question. This is who this guy is. He ran hard between the tackles. Could he get outside? Absolutely. But running through the tackles, physically tough, you couldn't beat that. And he was that guy.
Looking forward to seeing Irv play in the HBCU Legacy Bowl, man. That's going to be fun. I know he's still back in Mississippi training.
Yes.
Y'all, he was one of our ambassadors. We wish him nothing but the best. Let's expand on the room a little bit, Coach. I know TT, man, we talked about Travis Terrell, but I also want to get some JD Martin bounced out. Hold on. What's say? You want to go back to Irv?
No, not Irv. I just had a question before even before Irv.
Okay.
First of all, I do want to say this. I always wanted, through the whole season, I always wanted to see Irv catch more balls out the backfield. I never knew, that was our game plan. But here's a question I had for you, Coach. I know Coach Taylor and the whole coaching staff preached about a competitive room, having people being pushed. With that running back room that you have, and even beginning with having Herb, we know how egos can be, and how do you get those guys to push each other, support each other, not hate on without having animosity to make each other better? How do you push to get the best out of them without creating animosity amongst the group?
Well, it starts in the meeting rooms. The one thing that we do, we have fun in our meeting rooms now. We're serious, and they know I can be very, very serious when it comes down to the nitty gritty of it. But we do have fun, and we do exploit. The problem is you exploit everybody, not just one. So even had his flaws, even Ahmad and everybody else, they have their flaws. So we all point them, and I'll just sit there and see if anybody's going to say anything. That everybody, like, we'll be watching film and hold the clicker like that. Everybody okay with that right there? So y'all mean to tell me that's okay? Ain't nobody said nothing in this room. That's how I started out. Nobody said anything in this room. Are y'all okay with that? And then somebody, oh no, Coach, you gotta be, you gotta do this, or you gotta do that, or Dez, you need to be doing it. Dez, what you looking at? Or Trav, where you going? Dang, Trav, you let that man pull you down one arm, or it starts like that.
Yeah.
And then everybody understands we human beings, we have a flaw. So we're not perfect. No one is.
So you let them critique themselves.
Absolutely. And critique each other. That's
right.
the important
each other. That's what I meant. Yes.
Because if they can critique each other, then guess what? They can learn and grow with each other.
Awesome.
But if they don't have the ability to critique one another, then they're going to sit back and look at it as if it's hating.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
But everybody gets an opportunity to do it. Now, even if somebody in the room, and we're sitting here saying this in the room, and we're looking at film, and Ken ain't said a word. Ken, you all right with that? Because I'm going to tell you this. You do that, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. When we put your clip on, I'm going to show you what you did. Then trust me, you're going to say something, because then everybody going to talk about you when you get up, when you next. You know what I mean? That's why it was important for me early on to make sure everybody was getting reps in practice. Because I didn't want all the reps to go to a few guys. I wanted everybody to get a few reps so we can watch everybody's stuff and talk about everybody. But it's all in fun. But it's all in being, critical, but not to the point where it's degrading.
Love it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it got to the point, Irv is a tough nut now, and he's an older guy.
Yeah.
And he's more mature. But he would sit there and listen to that. And then he how Eric get that little high pitched voice. Coach, hey, I ain't gonna lie. You right, Coach. You right. You got it. Hey, and if you tell Irv I said he gonna die laughing, because I got everybody in my room's mannerism down. I can tell you how every one of them act and respond. And they don't think I do. And I pop one out every now and then on them. And they be like, dang, Coach. Yeah, I know all y'all little babies. I know all y'all little tendencies. You know what I mean? I just learned them all and studied them all, and I figured it out.
What? I was actually going to ask about this little young pup right here. I will get to you, Jeremiah. You hang tight. 833 in the house, man. Callaway. I mean, not Callaway. I'm sorry.
Jeremiah sat in on a meeting
already.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to him in a minute, but no. Before we go to Jeremiah, though, Irv's going out. We know JD hits the portal. Kobe hits the portal. But I get over to the school. Bryson Moss is back for another year. Mari Matthews is back for another year. Desmond Moultrie is back. Zeke, Ahmad is returning, and then you add this young pup, Jeremiah Wilson. You add my goodness, Denario Davenport. Who else did we add from running backs? I think those are the two that you did add in the offseason. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about the likes of Travis Terrell, but there was kind of an unsung hero in that running back room to me, and I thought that was Amari Matthews. Just was kind of the Mr. Plug and Play. But I want you to not that you have to go through your whole room, but just from a top line standpoint, if you want to touch on Travis, Amari, however you want to take it. But I did want to give you an opportunity to speak to those other backs and how they did in 24 and what the expectation is going into the 25 year.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we can say, Travis Terrell, and I told you, Corey kept asking me, well, Coach, tell us. I said, Coach, he's special. I said, Corey, he's special. Didn't I say that? And I kept saying the same word. I said special about 5 times. And if you go back and look at that, it was like, he's special. I wasn't going to tell you, Corey, how we was going to use him out of the backfield. We motioned him. We started doing some stuff. People flocking to him and all this stuff because they were afraid because of his speed and he was electric. So, yeah, I mean, we're expecting a lot of the same stuff, similar to the same stuff out of Travis. And we're going to continue to try to find ways to get him the football. And we even talked as far as today, talking about packages. Like, hey, these specific plays are designed for this person, and Trav being one of those people, And so when we call this play, we got to make sure he's in the game. This is his package. This is not that he's going to be running them back to back, but we know when we call that particular play, he's got to be in the game. So in what he did for us as a freshman, it's truly amazing, because you got to look at what it takes to actually do that. Is not just skill, but it takes some maturity in your mindset, your mentality. You know what I mean? He didn't look at himself like he was a freshman kid. He looked at himself as, right, hey, I'm coming in here to ball and I'm coming to do a job. I don't care who's there. I don't care who you got. Y'all going to have to find a way, because once I show you what I can do, y'all going to have to find a way to give me the ball. That was like his mentality, but it wasn't said, because he came in with a group of freshmen. You know what I mean? And so when he had that button, when he had that about him with the rest of the other freshmen, you saw he stood out from them.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it loudly. He
Right.
just did it with his play. He didn't do it loudly with his voice. He just did it with his play. And then he did it how he paid attention. He did it how he would respond. He did it how he would look at things from a critical standpoint. Because Trav is one of those same ones too, that if I have to say something to him, oh man, it's almost like it breaks his heart, because he don't want to do anything not right. You know what I mean? He wants to do it right. And so I tell him, hey, it's okay. I just need, just know this is what you do next time. That's it. You're good. And so he would go out and he would do that. Versus being young, sometimes you look at it very immaturely and you got a little wince on your face, or you receive it differently. And he didn't receive that like that. He received it with about he is coming. We received it, in a manner that he was just going to do well with it. And then, like they said, Nate's one that we're looking to have I want Nate to have a really great spring this spring. I want him to have a great spring, not a good one, but a great spring.
His second spring.
Yes, it's his second spring. So really, technically, Nate going into his third year, seems like.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But this is because he went to spring, he went to fall, now in another spring. That's like 3 years. But I want him to have a really, really, really good spring, because there's so much. He's got such good feet. But the one thing we're working with him on, and I told him this, is his keeping his feet moving and buzzing constantly, especially when it comes to contact balance. So that's the biggest thing. But I think he's going to have a great spring this spring, and I want him to, for him to be successful too, and be in that rotation. Amari is Amari. He's an unsung hero, like you said.
Yes.
Yeah. And Amari wound up being my downhill guy, which I knew that's what he was in the spring. He did that in the spring for us, and you saw some of it, Ken, when he was out there practicing. You was around a lot, and you saw a lot of that, and I believed in him. And one thing about him is he's a student of the game. He's probably one of the smartest players.
Yeah,
I know he's probably one of the smartest running back players that I've coached, and the way he absorbs the whole entire game, because he asks questions about the whole game. He asks questions about formation, routes, protections, all these different things that we try to teach him. He wants to make sure he get them right, and he understands what everybody's doing, so he knows where he fits in that little picture, even when he's not getting the ball and he's not touching it. And then Ahmad has got to have a good spring. He's got to have a good spring as well. And he had a late little injury with his toe, the heel of his toe. And so it kind of stomped. And he had some really nice games. He had some good runs in the Louisiana Monroe game. And then he turned around and came back in the next game, following the Lane game. Had some good stuff in there. And so I'm expecting him to come back and be a really, really good football player that can be at the level. Now, will he be at the level of Irv? Maybe not. But if he can get there, then yeah, that'll be great. But he has all the physical tools to be there. It's just whether it's going to click in his mind and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to turn this light bulb on. I'm going to show coach what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be consistent with it. And that's what it is. For him, it's about being consistent. And I think that Dez is my steady guy. He's Dez. He's going to show up every day ready to work. You know what I mean? Dez shows up like it's a job. Like, you know, I gotta go to work every day. You know what I mean? I ain't worried about. I'm gonna clock in. I'm gonna go to work. My boss ain't gonna have to say nothing to me. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna have to say a word to me. I'm gonna do my job. You know what I mean? So that's how Dez kind of is. That's how he's built, and that's how he's wrapped. And I think, what about Zeke? Zeke is unique.
Yeah.
Zeke is a funny guy. He's probably the most hilarious guy in the room. Zeke keeps the whole entire room going.
I mean, Eric Simmons.
Hey, that's a different dude. That's my frat brother. So yeah, Eric is funny. But Zeke is surprisingly though, Zeke is a really good running back. It's just some things he late in the year last year, he got in the doghouse. He practiced one time, he fumbled in practice. Yeah. And I was like, we can't have this. You know, this ain't gonna work. We take everything serious what we do. So, you know what? Zeke got in the doghouse because of that. But, you know, lo and behold, you know, to him, he had hurt his ankle and he was coming back off of that injury. So, and I think he's back ready. He'll be back and he should be good. But Zeke is a tougher runner than what his size. Don't get his size mistaken for how tough he runs the football. You know, he's one of those downhill, hard hitting running guys too in between the tackles, like sort of like a Irv is, but just not big, you know, as Irv. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's that type. He's gonna hit it 100 miles an hour.
Coach, Ken definitely can tell you. I love all my Tigers. Don't get me wrong. You know, we just kind of talk, but I always been a fan of Zeke. I became a fan of Zeke the spring before last. I like the way I think he run hard. He don't want to quit. He definitely he just have a working mentality, like I'm hungry, like, you know what I'm saying, this is my I got to get it here. But I always been a fan, you know, of Zeke, and you know the way he plays. And of course, I'm not saying you know that goes against anybody else that's in the room. Just saying, but Coach, this is one of the questions I wanted to know from, you know, my offensive coordinator book. Why didn't we ever see TT and Irvin in the backfield at the same time much?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. We had that 20 personnel package together, and they were, but there were times when we, based on what the fronts and different looks that we were getting, it wasn't in our best interest. You know what I mean? Because if the look isn't right and the personnel doesn't fit what we're trying to do, what they're going to have defensively, we didn't want any negative plays, which we didn't have a whole lot of negative plays offensively. So we knew that there are some things that we could do, run some, you know, inside zone with some split zone, with some route side of the backfield and stuff like that. But I think there was a time and a place for it. It just didn't present itself as often as we had liked, you know. And I'll be honest with you, we do a really good job of trying to come together and scheme against people. And the one thing that we think we do well is scheme. And what we do offensively, it's all about how can we churn yards. And it got to a point to where if we felt like that particular play wasn't explosive enough, man, let me tell you, we would go in anyway and run some of this stuff in practice, and we were like, that didn't look too good the way it looked in practice, even when we were in the 20 set. And then because we schemed it, we have a lot of things schemed up, but it just didn't fit how they were on the front. You got to think about this. It got to about the 5th, 6th game of the season. How many people were in our box?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, if it depends on the way things would go, do I want Trav to block for Irv? You know what I mean? Or do I want Irv to block for Trav? Then now we got to move and switch. So people then start picking up on tendencies.
Right. And I think that was the thing too, more of a decoy for either or, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a situation when one came in, it was almost kind of like, okay, well, here we go. We got 0 in, and then, we got 5 in. So I was thinking more of a decoy thing where they wouldn't know who to try to attack.
Well, we didn't want them on the field to be decoys.
All right.
Even if we had Trav on the field and we were motioning, doing some wrap motion and doing some bounce motions, the possibility was him getting the ball. It wasn't just, you just go out here and run out there and see if we can have fly out there, which, if that number 2 backer in the box didn't fly out there, which we're going to throw it to you, Trav. Now, if he do, then we're going to hand it off and we're going to do this or whatever. And so we did it. And you notice we did some of it, and we tried to go at Alabama State with it. And we tried to do a little bit of it, and they collapsed on it real quick because we knew how many people they're gonna have in the box, man. And it's tough to run with 7, 8, 9 people in the box when they playing man coverage outside. And then they got the safeties walk down low. What other team did they do that against?
Yeah,
they did it to us because they knew at the end of the day we was gonna try to run the football. I don't care if we had 30 personnel out there, who which we have talked about and discussed too, running a full house of 3 running backs, or having 2 running backs and a tight end in the backfield. So we are always constantly trying to figure out ways of how can we get this football, out, to these playmaker guys, and try not to put us in a bad spot and we get something negative happens on that particular play. So it was tough trying to do that because most times you got your coordinator mindset on. If you're in 20 personnel, now what are people going to be? How many people are going to bring in the box? You know what I mean? So if you're in 20 personnel, that means you only got 3 receivers in the game. Yep. So you got 2 corners of safety and maybe 1 high. Now I'm walking my backers down. And then now I got 8 people in the box. I got 5, 6 to block 8. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't make math sense for us. We have a bunch rule that we talk about in our meeting rooms. Everybody laughs about it when we say it. If it's a bunch of people over here, go the other way. You know what I'm saying, Ken? That's the bunch rule.
A bunch rule. I like that.
If it's a bunch of people over here, go that way.
Right.
That's why I laugh. Go ahead, Corey.
Because we talked about Irv leaving, but the running back room, just like last year, is still loaded. So you're gonna have some guys that, as they see, that Irv is gone, push him to be that number 1 guy and then that number 2 guy in the following line. So what are the things that are going to separate guys to let you know, okay, this is my number 1 guy, 2, and then down the line, down the pecking order?
Good question.
Yeah, that is a really good question. But the thing that we look at is it's not about who's number 1 or who's number 2 or who's number 3. It's about who's going to fit in the room. How we going to fit them in on the field. That's what it's about, because it's about team. Game to game, it can change. You know what I mean? There was sometimes Irv may have had the first 2 plays in the game, but then the 3rd play would go to Trav. Or Trav may have a first when Irv comes in. Depends on what we're doing. And that's why, that room has to be so unselfish. Because when guys are in there, when we have guys in our offense, we do want to say, okay, he's going to be the number 1 guy. He's this guy, or he's, I look at it as, okay, this is my starter, but daggone, he can be my starter too. He can be my starter, and he can be my starter. So I don't want any of them, number 1, to go to sleep and thinking that they got it on lock, because it ain't never on lock, because things can always change, And then it depends on who our opponent is, on what we want to do and how we want to attack them. That can change things. So we just have to be ready. Be ye also ready at all times is our motto. And as you notice this past year, you had to be ready. Yeah, I started out with 14. How many did I finish with?
A couple.
Exactly. And then I had one that wound up going over to receivers because we were depleted. Had one wound over going to DB because we were having, some issues over there. We got numbers down, guys getting hurt. And then, you had Zeke wound up, he hurt his ankle. And then we had JD. One that, he left, you know what I mean? And then I was trying to go ahead and I didn't want to burn the red shirt on a freshman, on two freshmen. Yeah. So now I'm relegated to just these number of people. So be ye also ready. That's my motto with them, and that's what I tell them. And who's my guy? Depends on who you are.
That's Mike Smith, Chris. Mike Smith, number 10.
Yeah, he did a good job too, especially against
he did. He sure did.
Perfect fit at DB, by the way. I like Mike.
You gonna get him back? Or y'all gonna fight over that?
No, leave him there.
I ain't getting him back. He's a really good corner. We knew that.
Good cornerback, bro.
We knew it.
He did well in the Celebration Bowl. I'm proud of Mike.
He sure as heck did. He played early in the Celebration Bowl.
Yes, he did. Him and KJ. Shout out. KJ, the only one.
Two freshmen. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to deal with that, and he can run. Like you can run.
Hey, Mike
can run by. You know what I mean? So,
hey, TD, he get a pick, man. It might be TD. What do we want?
It's gonna be at the. It might be TD.
Hey, Coach. When we was interviewing them on a visit, Ken, Corey, and I looked at Corey and Ken. I was like, hey man, I said, what position you play? What is that ATH on his? That's what he didn't have a position, Coach.
Yeah, that's what Coach O told us. Coach O told us on his visit. We asked him what he's gonna play. Coach O just looked at us. Yeah, he's everywhere.
Exactly.
Whatever you want to
do. He was fast. He was smart. You know what I mean? He was tough mentally because he wasn't scared of anything. And he played scout team. I mean, he did it all. And he just showed who he was. And fortunately for him, the light came on and it's clicking now. You see it in spring. You see it right now as he's working out. You see it in him right now. He is that light on.
The other day, and him and Shamar was competing pretty hard, man. Just even in the drills. Gotta love it. But Coach, I want to ask you about this new running back you brought in the room, man. We tried to get him a year or two ago. Denario Davenport. He's the size I like. You know, I like them. I like big backs.
Hey, you know what? You trying to get him a couple years ago. I was trying to recruit him 3 years ago when he was at Kilgore.
6'2", 215.
Right.
My kind of guy right there. Now, listen. I want you.
Let me tell you how that story happened.
But go ahead.
I have to tell you how that story happened. He said, Coach Taylor comes up to me one day. He said, a Denario Davenport? I said, yeah, he was running back. That was at Kilgore. I tried to get him 3 years ago. I said, man, he's tough. I said, he's physical. I said, he looked like me. I like his size. I like recruiting them type of guys. I don't have a problem with those. He said, really? He said, give him a call. I said, okay, I got his number. He said, you got his number? I said, I got his information. I still had it in my phone. And we wound up talking and communicating, and then, here it is. You know what I mean? It's full circle.
Yeah.
Recruiting him 3 years ago at Robert Morris. All of a sudden, Ken likes me back. Yeah, he does. He ain't gonna lie. So then it winds up coming back full circle.
It mix a lot.
he talks about it all the time. Trust me. He tells me all the time, gee, don't you like backs that look like you?
Hey, look, man, I keep trying to tell him, Coach, look, I know TD have his favorites. Corey C got his favorites. I come from the stock of the Nigerian Nightmare and Mike Allstott. Those are my guys, man.
Hey,
I'm a Mike Allstott.
Wow. I like big backs too.
You like big backs?
I ain't lying.
Since when?
Hey, I'm a Terrell Davis fan, huh? Jamal Lewis was tough. Jamal Lewis was.
How big you think Terrell Davis was?
I know he wasn't that big, but
you remember this conversation at Daytona. Now y'all should it's gonna go left.
Oh yeah, I know.
We about to get it there, TD. TD, we about to go left in a second. So you better steer this thing back right. But no,
do this for me before somebody else go. Jeremiah Wilson, he was in the chat, pup from Lanier. Let's talk about your thoughts on the freshman that's coming in.
You know, it's just like any other freshman that was here last year that was recruited. He can be a really good one. The one thing I do, you know, I think he shows a lot of grit. He shows toughness, and he shows some ability to run the football between the tackles. He has pretty good contact balance, which is I'm real big on, and I will always speak on that, whether they do or don't have it, because I think it's so important for yak yards. You know, after contact, it's just so vitally important. It does a multitude of things. I'm not just talking about the yards, but it sends a mentality when you can get hit and still keep going. So now guys are looking at you like, oh my goodness, I just gave him everything I got, and that joker didn't go. He didn't go down. You know, and I never really thought how big that was until you have conversations with people after football. You know what I mean? Like, guys, I didn't know any of this then, and I'm not tooting my own, but I'm just saying, when a guy would tell me, "Hey, man, hitting you was like, dog, by the time you got to the fourth quarter, dog, you weren't going down, man." We like, God, dog, that dude, he a big, he a physical. You know what I mean? Guys talk about that stuff, especially the same guys that you played with. And so it was, and that's what I look at in him, and I think he has some of that in him. He has some good size right now as it is, but I would, you know, my thing is with him when he gets here, you know, I'm gonna want him to put on a little bit more weight to help him be a physical runner, because hey, Jackson State, man, we run the football. We're a physical running football team. Woo. You need people to know that. Now, that wide receiver room, I ain't gonna even talk about it. That's about the craziest thing I've ever seen in college.
We got Coach Marshall pegged to come on in February, man.
He gonna have some problems.
Look,
he's gonna have some good problems
to get to bring in a Nate. My goodness, Nate Rembert, and then to get back Kobe Paul, Rico Powers, to get Taekwon Henderson back, and then to get Fabian McCray back, and along with Joe Dupree, Jay Dupree, Isaiah Spencer, Jonas Fertilli. Jamil God. The list goes on and on and on.
And what did
loaded?
TC said last spring? Championship team is built to win this way. That's what it is. It's built. They're built to be a championship team. So now, whether they are this 25 class is or isn't, it's on them. But the team has been built to be a championship team all the way around. So I'll let Coach Marshall speak on his plethora of guys. Y'all talk about me last year. Y'all need to talk to Coach Marshall. But it's just the fact that it's built that way, and I think, you know, I think we've got some great things in place, man. And Coach O, being a general manager, man, he signs off on a lot of these transactional things that happen, and people don't know all the stuff that he do. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give him credit.
Yeah, he does everything.
You know, he does a lot of stuff and does things that people don't know, and him and TC they'll cloud up in their room and they talk about these things, and next thing you know, he say, "Hey, this is what we want to do. This is where we want to go. This is how we're gonna do it." And we as coaches, we just go out and we just execute. You know what I mean? It's like they got their playbook. We got to execute that playbook. Then the playbook that we have with the kids, we put playbook in play. They got to execute those plays. You know what I'm saying? So it's a trickle down effect, and I think it's one of the best college environments from this level. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's remarkable.
It's next level, man.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And I love AD Robinson. You know what
sir.
I mean? And I love his support. I love, you know, President Thompson's support. It's impeccable.
Yeah.
They need, bro. I'm gonna say this out loud. This show he can go on the road. You know what I mean? It's in line to be a FBS program.
I'm telling you, like,
there's a lot of people realize that.
Coach, what was said on that stage Friday night was not capped. When TC said we got this right and we got this right, to be in an HBCU, he was referencing the president with the AD and the coaches being all aligned. I've never seen AD just kind of go, "We got AD Robinson coming on soon." I'm gonna tip everybody off, but he on the way to the show. But I'm telling you, man, he was just saying how that's some of the issues that you see at a lot of HBCUs.
Oh, absolutely.
Camaraderie. This side don't talk to the other side. Communications versus athletics. And just and I want to throw another. I know Travis is a great support. Travis Jerome, SID Communications, him and Austin, they do a fantastic job. Just there's a lot of alignment, and it's a beautiful thing to witness. We get a chance to be up there a few times. It's always good. It just feels like we just hanging out with the guys because so much camaraderie in the room. There's such a close knit coaching staff, and man, it's a wonderful thing. You said it. Y'all can put it on the road, man, and you guys have. That's the blueprint. That's the blueprint to follow, man.
It is a blueprint, and let me tell you, people can talk about Prime when he was here, but this TC, I only know what TC's doing. I've only been here when TC was here. Yeah. You know what I mean? And his blueprint and what him and Coach O have done to set things in motion, and then the support that we have just from the community. I mean, look at what y'all are doing. When we have recruits come in, do you know how big that is? Do you know how huge that is? You think you know, or you have an inclination, but you don't have a clue how big that impact is. I mean, you may know, but man, let me tell you this: it is just unbelievable what y'all are doing and how y'all are going about, with the collectives, with the player. Seriously, really, FCS, really?
Hey, man,
HBCU. You know what I mean? And I don't want us to, and I don't want people to get into thinking, okay, say, yeah, we're HBCU and very proud of it, but dadgummit, we act like a top tier FCS program, which in a group of 5. How about that?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Real Sunbeltish. I'm gonna just say that.
Absolutely,
for real.
Absolutely,
real talk.
And if that 1A come off the end of our status, it changes the whole game.
Everything.
Absolutely. So you just take one of them A's off.
I want to go to Corey C right here on something, because we just had our 5-year anniversary show on Tiger Talk not too long ago. I remember the first interview that he had me to do was who, Corey?
Coach O.
Coach O. It was back in 2020 that Coach O was telling us what his vision for Tiger Talk was and how we could use Tiger Talk in recruiting. And I'm thankful. We're all thankful that we get to participate in the recruiting visits that come to Jackson, and how you guys have embraced us and allowed the podcast to help enhance that recruiting experience for these young student athletes that are on visits, and the impact that it has had, along with Tiger Nation on Twitter and IG and all social platforms, just blowing them up and showing love, man. So I just wanted to just plug Coach O again, because he did talk about that. I think he was referencing some things how Mississippi State did some things about 5 years ago, and you fast forward now, we're doing good, but we definitely in an elevated space with what we're trying to do, Coach. So we're proud to be a part of that. Yeah,
and we're thankful for it. I saw a snippet where Coach was talking to you about it. Coach Taylor was talking to you about it, and it is huge. It does have an impact, and it's making a lot of headway and making a lot of noise in the community, and it should, rightfully so. And I do also want to give out a shout out to the fans too, with JSU by 40. So I mean, with all these different things we have in place, man, and what they're trying to do, that stuff helps this program. And that's why people come in when they see it and they look at it, especially from the outside looking in. You look at this thing and you say, man, wow, this don't look like a FCS program. No, it doesn't. It's one that's built different. It looks different. It smells different. It passes the eye test. So there's a lot of things in place that a lot of people have done to put on for us. And then doing, the same thing with having the reveal of the recruit reveal. Innovative and creative things that we're doing, in trying to make some headway with our community and our fans, so they'll know who we're bringing in. But yet at the same time, this is benefiting the kids. This isn't benefiting anybody else. This is benefiting this program. It's elevating this program on the platform that it's on. Then now we can give on the platform that we on. Now we give all glory to God, so everybody know that, and we're thankful for it, and they see that. And then number 2, then we sit here and we say, okay, now we can help these young men that we have. We can help feed them when they're hungry. We can help get them a pair of shoes when they need it, or we can help them get this or whatever, anything, may come up. That's what that platform is for. And if we're not doing it for that, we're doing it for no reason.
Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead. Come on.
So does that help you guys when it comes to recruiting? What you were just saying, does that give you the confidence to go after that kid who has the G5 offer and even the Power 4 offer, knowing that you can bring him into Jackson State?
G5, we look G5 we look at them.
Same. It's like looking in the mirror.
Exactly. So it's that next level one, the one that's now we got to compete to get some of them, them P4s. So yeah, this platform helps them. This platform now says, hey man, I'm doing an interview. They got me on an interview. They got me doing this. They got me talking about this. They got me addressing this. That's big time stuff. And then now we give them shout outs. And then VI Love just show up and show out when they get on Twitter. Man, I'm gonna tell you, by the time I tell a kid all the time, they look, man, you ain't got that many followers, or you ain't got that many likes, or you ain't got that many views. You about to have 1,000 of them mofos in about 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as this happens, you better watch your Twitter. It's gonna blow up because our fans are crazy, but about who we bring in. But at the same time, here it is. They know that if we like a kid and we bring a kid in, they know that hey, there's something to this. They're not doing this because we don't just do it with anybody. We don't just bring anybody in to the family. We don't try to bring guys in that we think are going to be, knuckleheads or whatever. We bring some good people in that we know is going to keep this being a championship program and repeating exactly what happened in 2024 with this 2025 team.
And I guess a great example of that would be 6'4", 6'5" receiver coming in from Lakeland, Florida.
Tyree Robinson.
Weatherspoon. Tyree Weatherspoon.
Weatherspoon.
Yeah, he's
Lake Mary, Orlando area.
Yeah, he's coming in from Lake Mary. Well, but he's that, and look what he had.
Right,
man, them offers.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Wow. But that's the efforts of some things of what y'all did. When his mom got here with him, and then y'all did we did all the stuff that he saw everything he needed to see. That's what happens. You get a kid that got all them offers, the wait for it. I mean, he got P4 offers it was crazy, but yeah, he came to Jackson State. You know what I mean? What did you see this other one we got coming from Hillsborough County in Florida? Bill 4-star. Hey, everybody. Yes, sir. He's another 6'4", 220-pound dude. I'm telling you, man. It's and it's just the impact of what y'all doing is what helping with recruiting. That's what helped me make recruiting easy. I mean, I'm not doing anything special. I mean, yeah, we establish relationships, but then when they get here, then now it's over the top. It's stuff they don't even expect. Because when you go on recruiting trips, what do? You go on recruiting trips, you meet the coaches, you meet the coach staff, you go see the facilities, you go do this, you take a tour, you go meet academic people, blah, blah, but you don't get to do this. You don't get to interact. You don't get to have interviews. You don't get to have conversations. And then now our fans get to know who they are.
Right.
And get to see who they are. And then they can say, hey, I like that young man. That young man presents himself quite well. So then now they start following. So now we got all these things going. So that's how it is.
And then, Coach, I know y'all do a great job of grooming the young men. I mean, even when they're out in public and they're able to, interact with the fans, it's not a situation where they're here or they can't be touched or they can't be talked to on that level. And that makes that family feel that much better.
Absolutely. And, I was listening to someone say this the other day. When I talk, you should be hearing TC out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I should be saying the exact same things.
Echo.
It should be echo. So how we interact and how we treat and how we teach, it's the same thing that what he wants us to teach, speak, and relate to the players and parents. And it's about establishing relationships. Because there ain't one person on this coaching staff that TC Coach Taylor don't have a relationship with. Not one. Not every coach, head coach on the staff can say that. Because they don't have a relationship with their coaches. They work for them. You know what I mean? We work for him. but we have relationships.
Love it, man.
So,
Coach, listen, I don't have any more questions. If TD or Corey got any more, we can go. I'll let y'all close it out. I know, man, you've been on a whole 2 hours and 15.
Y'all keep me every time I turn around, man.
Huh?
Y'all keep me every time I turn around.
Hey, look, we're gonna let you ride. We're gonna let you rock,
Exactly.
man. We ain't gonna interrupt you. I know it's getting a little late for the East Coasters, and also for those that gotta go to work tomorrow.
It is late, isn't it? It is. They still hanging though. We appreciate y'all though.
Hey man, this is good stuff. TD, you got anything else?
Yeah, he already been paid, Ken. So he good. Hey, Coach.
Who is that? Said y'all ask him some more questions.
That's Miss Divine Inspiration right there. That's Big Sis right there.
Oh, really?
Corey, you got anything else?
Nah, man. I mean, we can do this all night, so we got to cut it at some point. Because if I ask another one,
Absolutely.
He gonna give you a
me.
10 to 15-minute answer. I love interviews like this. You ask one question, and they just roll. So if I ask you,
well, I'm gonna give you the whole truth.
Past midnight.
Oh yeah, that's right. They said they snowed out on the East Coast. Just go ahead.
So y'all ain't got to go to work. So y'all want to sit here and be on here all night long. Hey, you know.
But I will ask you this last question then, because prior conversation in Daytona, you was excited about your room and how you want your room to look. Is that it's probably still work in progress, but is that shaping up the way that you were speaking on?
Absolutely.
Give me one more. Give me one more. Go. Give me one more.
What's that?
No. I seen a little fella that we sent an offer out, West Coast kid, speed guy.
Oh my goodness! You know what? You something else. You know that you something else. You something else. Yeah, the room is shaping up exactly the way we're looking for it to shape up, and it's going to be competition. It's going to be some competition, which is exactly what we want. Number one. Number two, yes, the fella that's out west, yes, he's got some wheels. He can fly.
Yeah, he can.
He can flat out fly, and he can run between the tackles. And he's physical. Yeah, he will be special, So, yeah, we just gotta wait on that though. We gotta wait on that one.
Take your time.
We can't disclose any more information.
Hey, listen, all I'm gonna say is this right here, man. Tell them, Coach, hit that barcode. Y'all can pause the screen, scan the barcode. It's gonna take you to Impact Tickets. Get your tickets, man. 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from tonight, you're going to have the Recruit Reveal, the official signing day event. The Champions Circle tables will be $300. You can get the Guard the Yard table for $100. General admission $50 per person. Entry provides food, one drink, Recruit Reveal, football coaches and players, meet and greet, silent auction. And, Tiger Talk, we're going to be on the scene doing our thing, as we always do, man. But go ahead and get your tickets now. I know. Is he coming? We're gonna leave that alone, Jimmy. We're gonna leave that alone, Jimmy.
Ken, one thing you need to tell them, it's gonna be well worth it.
It's definitely gonna be worth it.
You get to come and interact with the coaches. You get to ask any questions you want. You get to do whatever it is that you need to find out anything you want to find out. And every one of these coaches are transparent. We're all transparent.
Very.
Right.
Yep.
You ask us a question, we're gonna answer it. If you ask me a question about somebody, how they practiced the day, I'm gonna tell you. If they had a crappy day, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you exactly what they did wrong. I'm gonna tell you what they did right. But if you ask, that's what it is. What's my thoughts on Javance? Okay, which thoughts you want to know? See, there's different levels of Javance Jones. Now, which ones you want to know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my thoughts on Javance Jones. One of the most energetic people.
Yeah.
Loves football. He loves Jackson State more than anything.
Yeah.
He might need to have the Jackson State. He might need to be the mascot. You know what I mean?
Sonny.
I'm serious, because that man, he loves Jackson State. Now we love Jackson State too, but he a lot of different levels. He loves Jackson State, man. I'm telling you. And like, if you ain't talking, or you come in that building and you ain't got a whole lot of energy, he gonna make sure you get it, or he gonna ask you why. And that's just the way he is. But he's a great coach. He's going to be a great dynamic coach. I'll tell you that on the college level. He will be a great college football coach. He's going to be a great college football coach. He's going to be a good coordinator one day too, because I can see that in the very near future. And I'm talking defensively, not just special teams. And I think what he's done for this program, he changed the game. He changed our game last season. The things that he did and put on tape, and the things, he had Travis Terrell doing on special teams, and things Janae Dupree was doing, and the whole entire group, Matt Knoll, Coach G Baby, all of them. He had them playing on a high clip, man. He's a dynamic coach. He knows how to relate to the kids, and all the kids love him. Let me tell you, I have to go and speak behind him every week. It is the hardest thing to do. It is the hardest thing to do because I have to go behind him every time. So I have to find my own way to get them after he done juiced them all up. And then I'm going up there and I just get up there and sometimes I just rub my head and I'm like, nah, what am I going to do to rile these guys up? Because that's some of the things that TC does. He has us present to these kids on numerous occasions during the week, during game week. So it's probably 2 to 3 times we all have to present one after another, and I'm always behind him. And offensively, nobody else is going to go because he's the last defensive person. So I'm the first one. Like, okay, I'll go. I'll do it. And it just fell suit. But it's hard to go behind him when he motivates kids and he gets kids in the mindset of where they want to be. So, yeah.
Hey, Coach, did you share? Or we got to do it all over again?
Share what? Oh, no. Hey, you know what? See, TD think he's slick. He gonna ask me. See, I'm gonna come back out of spring. TD think he's slick though.
Hey,
so
go ahead.
Hey, you know what? That's my acronym, right? DYJ. So anyway, so let me tell you what TD did. So TD calls me. He says, "Hey man, Coach, cause I like barbecue. Coach,
I already knew it. I said he cooked for you, didn't I? Knew it.
Cause I got some barbecue. I said, okay. He says, so he brings me some barbecue. He bring me 4 ribs.
Cold. It was more.
Okay, it was a couple more. Okay, can I? Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you tell your story.
Okay, he brought 6, 2 pairs, right? So he brought some sausages. And he brought me some Brussels sprouts and some baked beans, some really, some good stuff. He brought some chicken, some grilled chicken. So he says, well, hey, I said, you know what, man? I'm going to share this with, Zavancy and the guys, and share it with Coach Quinn because they live, not too far from me and everything, live close. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna hook those guys up. So he brought me a nice little pan full of this, this stuff. So he asked me about it again last night because he brought me some last night we met and he brought me some salmon, and I like salmon too. Now I'm a real connoisseur. Now I can eat ribs all day every day, but I gotta watch how much I eat because of the salt. Yep. So he brought them. He asked me last night. He said, "Coach, did you share with the guys?" I said, "No, I didn't. I ate all that food. I ate all the ribs." Coach, Ken, hey, Corey, let me tell you, Corey, I ate all the ribs. Corey, I can eat a whole slab of ribs by myself, and it wasn't really quite a slab. It was not there, but it wasn't a full.
It was a half a slab, Coach.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I can eat the whole slab by myself.
Hey, Travis, you ain't by yourself, man. I come there every week. I ate one time. I did get the salmon once.
Oh, did you?
I ain't getting no more food after that though. It wasn't even that much though. But TD be throwing down.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he be throwing down. He be throwing down.
Yeah, he be throwing down, but he give you one little strip, one bone like this. Like,
go.
Most of the meat on the other bone, probably. You know what I mean? Hey, look at, hey, I'm telling you, Trav sitting there talking. He said at least he got a picture. I got some food. But let me tell you, Corey, I'm 200 plus pounds. I ain't telling nobody how much I weigh on that TV. I don't mind telling. I'm 240 pounds. I eat. I work out to eat. I'm like TC. TC, I tell you that now. TC, that's who eat, but anyway, I'm like TC. TC said he work out to eat. I work out to eat, so I eat. That's why I work out. So he brought me them bones, and I was like, man, he want me to share.
How big was the pan, Coach?
It was a big pan. Not that big.
It had a lot of different stuff in it.
It was. I did give him. I gave Javancian one of the sausage links. He did get one. He got a couple bones. Huh?
That was a tease.
It was.
You gave him one. That's a tease.
Of course. I mean, I was hungry, but I did share. So I gave him some more, and then I gave him a couple pieces of chicken, 2 chicken strips. I gave him a couple of chicken strips, and I gave him some salmon.
I got you, Coach.
But you can't bring me no little bit of food and then talk.
I didn't know you had an appetite like that.
Oh yeah, man, I can eat though. I like to eat. I love to eat.
Hey, Corey, you told me. So I met with the Simon last night. I said, Coach, he said, well, I wasn't gonna eat, but man, last night I ate like 3 of them bones and the Brussels sprout and some of the beans.
All that's gone, Corey. Oh, I got your Tupperware. I bring you your Tupperware back.
Hey man, it was awesome. And shout out to brother Leslie Peters, you know what I'm saying, for assisting me with that. We'll carry on, Coach.
We appreciate it.
Yes,
but
sir.
now I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you everybody that know me know I love ribs, man. I can eat ribs every day. Everybody talking about return after the spring game. Y'all gonna bring us some barbecue at the spring game? I want some.
Hey, we'll make it happen, Coach.
No, hey, look. I'm just
something happen, man. We know. Now they talking about come back on after you assess your team. We're gonna listen. I don't have no dates just yet. I know the schedule is probably gonna drop sometime next weekend, something like that. I can't.
Within the next 2 weeks.
Huh?
Yes,
within the next 2 weeks, definitely.
And tickets go on sale. Season tickets go on sale first. I would just me guessing. I would think that the schedule will be out before that. There you go. The Travis got it. So next Saturday. That's why I said next weekend. So starting Saturday, the schedule will drop on Saturday. So there you go, everybody. You can plan your travels as of February 1. Now, season ticket holders, I think we'll get an email on Friday. We should get an email on Friday. But yeah, Coach. Man, we appreciate you, brother, stopping by. Hello, show.
I appreciate y'all, man. I thank y'all, and I, like I said, I thank God for you guys providing the platform to being able to share, and I have fun. I enjoy this every time. I just like talking with you guys, man. That's all. And you're talking to a guy who don't like talking in front of a lot of people.
Oh, stop it! I don't believe that.
I know that I'm 100% truthful, 100%. But I enjoy this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I enjoy Jackson State University. You know,
yes, indeed,
and this program and what Coach Taylor, and I have to give shouts out to Coach Taylor and Coach O all the time, and AD Robinson, who's, you know, AD's great, man. He's
well after he let you go in 2019, 2020. What was that first conversation back when? What was that first conversation like when you came back around when TC brought you back?
You know what I said? Hey, you know you let me go. You thought, hey, good to see you. Hey, you know you let me go, right? You know I can't let that go. What you think I ain't gonna say something? Like, I mean, you think it's gonna be okay? I gotta say something. TD said it last night. TD, you know how I am, TD.
Yeah, man. Hey, go, Coach. You one of my guys now, Coach.
You said that in Daytona. And don't be asking. And don't be asking me talking about we gonna win and all this. I'm like, what? We're gonna go out and we're gonna play hard and we're gonna do what we can.
Well, Coach, you know what? I'm glad we got you until we get to the FBS level. Appreciate
you. Absolutely. I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I ain't gonna I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna be staying right here. Right here in Jackson.
Eating ribs.
Eating ribs. We're gonna have to go visit Ken though out in Cali.
I'm down.
Come on through, man. Come on through, man.
Ken talking about come on through. He ain't invited me not one time. Yeah, he said, hey Coach, when you coming out west?
Hey, y'all come this way. I got you. I told him when I first got on, I was looking for new patio furniture, man. Come on out, man. We smoke cigars out back. I got lemons and avocados back there, man. You know.
Really?
You know, you can make some. You can make lemon. You can make lemons out of lemonade. You know, TD pretty good at making lemons out of lemonade. But
I can do that.
So,
now you get
hey,
fresh squeezed lemonade, avocado. I don't eat none of that stuff.
hey, on a serious note though, you weren't affected by the fires?
No, I am affected by the wind. I did lose my trash can.
Okay.
Lost my trash cans. I don't know where it went. Look, I'm coming up through my neighborhood today, man, and I went over to this little baseball field at the back of my neighborhood. Man, there's trash cans back there. And I got out the car, man. I went and looked at them because I remember my trash can. Even though I got a new one, Coach, I want my trash can back.
Right. I get that.
She's in LA. Hopefully, Lois, you wasn't affected by the fires, were you? I know the fires are mostly in the LA area. That's on West LA side. Palisades is over there by south of Calabasas, and it was west of Brentwood. So if you're familiar with people may not know where LeBron lives at, but Brentwood is where the Palisades at. It's like here, Brentwood would be east. So she said, no, she's good. It's southeast of where it's at. And then Calabasas is northwest. So it's Calabasas, Brentwood, the Palisades right in the middle. And I'm like way over here in Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay.
So I'm an hour. I'm LA to Rancho, 40 miles, 41, 42 miles. So yeah, so no, we good. Just wind out here, man. It was a beautiful 77 degrees today, man. It was sunny and palm trees was moving, all pretty looking and stuff. Oh yeah, man.
I tell you what, though, it was cold out there out there on the field today. It was chilly. it was a little cold. I was like, okay, it's starting to feel like some Midwest weather.
Yeah, I'm over here with Data and Craig. Call me Uncle Elroy. That's my nephews call me that anyway. So anyway,
they call you Uncle Elroy.
They really do. Go ahead, TD.
Can you bring me some of those guacamole? I can make some dip. I had some last night. Gone green onion. Put some green onions in there, man.
Honestly, bro, I really could chip you some avocados though. I got like a ton of them in the tree.
They got to get soft. Yeah.
Look, by the time they get to you, they'll be soft.
They'll be soft. You put them in the dark, right?
Yeah, I put some lemon juice. My wife.
You know what I'm saying? You put them in the dark, they'll ripen.
Travis said a 5-hour drive. No, about an hour. Good hour, man.
Because of the traffic. 40 minutes. There you go. Hey, you know what? That's the same thing with me in Lakeland. I drive to Orlando. It's gonna take an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Let me ask you this.
I-4, man. I'm telling you.
What's your thoughts? I know we done, Coach, but I wanted to ask you when you said Lakeland, Kamani McClain, man. What's the deal with him?
Hit me up, Apple.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Corey, who was the young fella that was committed to us, man? And then when Prime left, man, he went to FAMU from Lakeland.
The wide receiver, Lockhart?
He was a DB.
The DB.
3-star DB. I forgot his name. We had another one that was committed from Lakeland. I forgot his name. He was DB. 3-star kid.
You're not talking about Tristan Sion, right? Because he was on campus.
Not Sion. Sion come from somewhere else.
He went to Lakeland High School?
He was in Lakeland. He went to FAMU afterwards. Twan Wilson. That's his name. There you go.
Okay.
Twan Wilson.
Yeah, knew. Dang. Yeah. How you know that? Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I don't know. I remember him. That was Twan. I wonder how he's doing, man. I hadn't kept up with him. Once they go to the Rattlers, man, I just don't even keep up with him.
Lose track of him.
Lose track. All good.
Bye-bye.
But Coach, man, we don't keep you that much longer. We're gonna go ahead and close this thing out. Listen, hey, everybody, click that link in the chat. It's in the top of the chat. Click the link, join the collective, man. We want to continue to support these student athletes, man, as they be a part of this brand. And Coach, man, we appreciate you, man. For real.
Appreciate y'all, man. I really do.
Appreciate
thank y'all for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, sir. But everybody, Coach Eric Gallen, running backs coach, Jack State. Good night, man. Appreciate you coming up, Doc.
Thank y'all.
What'd you say, TD?
I told Coach I had my pom-pom out.
I-
Appreciate you, Coach.
Hey, appreciate you, man. I appreciate the food.
Yes, sir. No problem at all.
Great stuff. Corey, I'm looking for you to bring some barbecue.
I got you, man. No problem.
It
I
is.
got
For real.
Enough to share. I'm bringing enough to share.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You
It
can't,
was enough to share,
you
Corey.
can't be bringing 2-3 bones talking about, hey,
Hey,
I
you know what? You
share
know what?
with everybody.
You know what, Coach? I say this in the most respectful way. See, TD he's a chef. Let me say it that way. I trust his portions, and if he said it was enough, I'm gonna say it was enough. You just didn't share.
He had some leftovers.
Yes.
He kept some leftovers.
The chicken breast was jerked and lemon peppered. That's what happened.
Now I'm about to get frustrated now, dog. I bless your boy, bro. I gotta let him know when I'm coming back to town, man, because I want to taste some of that stuff, man.
Yeah.
I don't do a team cookout or something, bro. We ain't coaches, man. We don't get the perks like y'all get, man. Y'all get blessed. We get to hear about it.
What perks we get?
You just got a whole damn plate. You got a whole plate of chicken that you're supposed to share. You got ribs, jerk chicken, lemon pepper.
And I had to share.
Brussels sprouts. What does he get to these? Baked beans.
Yeah.
Salmon.
Yeah.
Ooh, he hooked you up, man. That's a lot of good. That's good eats, man.
Salmon was good too. He did Cajun salmon.
Look at it, he's showing out.
And lemon pepper.
Nah, man. That's what TD does, man. Good stuff, man. Tiger Nation, we appreciate y'all as always, man. We gonna go.
Oh, we still on? I didn't know that.
We live, baby. We live. You ain't saying nothing.
Let me get off this thing because I ain't. Oh my goodness, let me go.
We finna close out right now.
I thought we've been closed out.
I love. Go Tigers, baby. Peace.
I love.
Peace.
ShotRx is bringing healthcare to you. With our mobile health team, we can come to your school, church, or business to take care of you. We offer childhood immunizations, COVID and flu vaccinations, physicals, and much more. Don't put your health off. Welcome to Care and Compassion. Welcome to ShotRx.
Great day to be a Tiger. JSU by 40 campaign. Coach Taylor, I was just thinking, I was sitting in my office and we were talking about Jackson State athletics, the tradition of Jackson State. You played here. What if 50,000 alums gave $40 a month for 12 months?
Man, that would be huge. That's money in the bank for athletic program.
Let's do this, Coach. I'm challenging all 50,000 alumni of Jackson State University, supporters, fans. Let's give $40 a month to JSU by 40 campaign. 12 months, 12 million. September to August, let's win championships in the classroom. Let's support Jackson State University. Let's support athletics. And let's make sure our coaches and our student athletes are successful. So again, Coach Taylor and I are challenging you, all 50,000 alums, $40 a month for 12 months to support Jackson State athletics. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Support the JSU by 40 campaign. Visit gojsutigers.com/JSU by 40.